The Winnipeg crowd was great. They did exactly what they should have done for their home team, and our guys made a gallant game out of it. And then that big kick at the end, that was super.
It sure was. The adversity of the wind, the noise, the snowballs, you guys really had to put up with a lot here, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. And you know what the thing is? It's not adversity. It's part of football playing in the Canadian Football League.
1-2.
Calgary Stampeders will kick off this start of the Western Final. Back deep for the BC Lions, number 6, Corey Philpott, and number 16, Spencer McLennan. He turned out a kicker number 13, Mark McLaughlin, after a turn of 23 yards. 52 yards on the kick for McLaughlin.
And one of my...
You're going out. Calgary 25.
20 seconds. 20.
Hey, piece off, hey.
I'm frozen. My mouth is frozen.
10 seconds.
10.
Here we go.
6.
Football fans in Winnipeg still milling about the field, still in disbelief that the Baltimore CFLers have beaten their Blue Bombers in an historic football game, the final 14-12. The Bombers, based with 20 Canadians, not a match today for the All-American Baltimore CFLers. That's it from the East. Let's go to Calgary now for the Western Football Final.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, everybody. Chris Cuthbert with Danny Kepley, Scott Oak, Ron Lancaster, David Archer. We're at McMahon Stadium to decide the Canadian-based opponent for the Baltimore CFLs in the '94 Grey Cup game. This game just underway. The first possession for Ken Austin and the Lions, and Kep, they're setting an early tone. They are driving into Calgary territory.
Good kickoff return, excellent field position. Ken Austin came out doing the things that he does best. 2-step, 3-step drop, hitting the receivers very quickly, trying to keep this very tough Calgary defense off balance.
So it's the Lions with a first down at the Calgary 33-yard line. They fake to Philpott. Austin throwing. Flutie got a hand on it, couldn't pull it down. Darren Flutie with the first catch of the game, as Kent Austin, who won the game last week in Edmonton in relief, gets the start, and reminded us yesterday that the Lions lost just 4 games in 15 starts for Austin this year.
He's the perfect kind of quarterback to have against a very tenacious, aggressive defense like Calgary. Play action pass, quick reads, excellent throwing technique, and he's really going to test all of those abilities today.
2nd and 10 for Austin and the Lions. Firing it deep and well over the intended receiver, Corey Philpott out of the backfield. Incomplete, 3rd down. BC has the wind advantage first quarter, Kep, but let's clarify things. The conditions will not be the factor they were a year ago here.
This is a fast track today. It really is. The wind is blowing as it normally does on the prairie, but as far as the footing surface itself, as I said, it's a fast track, and it will be to the advantage of both of these teams today.
Well, here's Louis Fasaglia. Last week, unbelievably, for the first time in his 19-year career, kicked a winning field goal in a playoff game. And this attempt from 40 yards out is good, and the BC Lions have struck first in impressive fashion here. 2:33 gone, first quarter. Lions lead 3-0.
You hate to sound kind of silly when you say that was a big points, but it really is big points for BC to take the opening possession, take it down against this defense, and come away with some points. If it's 3 points, if it's 7 points, if it's 1 point, whatever it is, that 3 points right there helps to build and instill even more confidence into this BC team.
Here's Dave Ritchie, who's usually very keyed up in the hours before a game. I thought he was incredibly relaxed yesterday. On the other hand, his good buddy on the other side of the field, Wally Buono, was exceptionally tight for Wally the day before a game. It's an interesting contrast, these two close friends who once coached on the same team, Montreal at 83.
That's the toughest thing to go about, the build up to this big game, all the emotions, all the adrenaline that's pumping through you, and then all of a sudden, once you get to this point, you get out there, you make your first hit, you make your first catch, then this becomes another 60-minute football game.
Louis Bisaglia was the first man on the field today. Over 3 hours ago, he was out testing the wind, the field conditions. He'll kick off to Marvin Coleman, who was a dangerous return man in the first meeting between these two teams. Here's Coleman over the 35 and stopped up at the 43-yard line. Coleman returned a punt against the BC Lions for a 65-yard touchdown in their first meeting. Well, Doug Flutie was prepared for ice, snow, wind, anything to silence the critics. He's got actually great conditions to work with today, and he is intent on putting to rest what happened last year in the Western Final.
Well, I think not only Doug is, but all 37 guys, along with Doug Flutie, are on the same page as they have been since day one of training camp.
First possession for the Stampeders, and he'll roll to his right with time. And he's looking for Alan Pitts. Incomplete, and Barry Wilbur over quickly to chirp at Pitts. Well, Doug Flutie and those incredible numbers, 48 touchdown passes during the regular season. He was sharp last week, 26 of 40 against Saskatchewan, although it took him a little while to warm up last week against the Green Riders.
He did. They got after him very quickly. They played one certain defense on 1st and 10, and then they would change their personnel and come out 2nd and 10. But Doug Flutie remedied that by going to his hurry-up, no-huddle offense.
2nd and 10, Calgary. And Flutie in the flat through the hands of Tony Stewart. Tyrone Chapman was the linebacker in coverage for BC. It's incomplete and 3rd down, so BC gets the start they want on defense as well.
That's exactly. This BC team coming in has played as well-rounded offensively, defensively, and special teams this season. That defense will be tested, and the one thing they can do, take away those passes going deep down the field, up the vertical, force them to dump it off to the safety valve, and then use that speed to react up to it.
Spencer McLennan and Darren Flutie are deep. Short kick by Tony Martino, and now Flutie trying to get outside. And Flutie shoved out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 33. 11:27 to go. First quarter of the Western Final.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome your 1994 Outriders. Brought to you by Tropicana Pure Premium Orange Juices and Software Athletics. Choreography by Allison Joseph.
Johnny, you got any?
Yeah. I'm going to ask David a question about Flutie, how he wants to seize control of this game early. I'm going to ask Ron a question about the Calgary offensive line. Got to be really quick, like
Okay.
10 seconds each.
Try for real quick. We only have about 45 seconds to do. 10 seconds.
Okay.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, step.
Back in Calgary, West Division final nicely underway. Lions leading 3-0. Our game day analysts, Ron Lancaster and David Archer, continuing to watch this game. David, I know you've made the point repeatedly that your quarterbacking colleague, Doug Flutie, wants to seize control of this game early.
He does, and unfortunately it hasn't happened for him. He's already gone a 2-and-out, and Kent's established a little bit for his team.
Ron, you've been, I guess, emphatic today that these games are won in the trenches, and you think that Doug Flutie needs protection today to be effective.
In the last game in BC, the BC front four put tremendous pressure on them, and they worked that offensive line over. It's a big test for them today, right now.
All right, again, we're early in the first quarter. Lions leading 3-0. Chris?
Thank you, Scott. BC Lions will have the football and kept their first possession. Ken Austin with that 3-step drop. He's going to be patient against the Calgary defense.
Well, he certainly will. He is the kind of guy that is exactly needed to be back there. He will take exactly what this Calgary defense will give him. They haven't given a lot away through the course of the 1994 season.
First down for Austin. Nice protection. And he finds the receivers, Ray Alexander, up near the 45-yard line. And another first down for the BC Lions. Douglas Kraft in coverage against the veteran Alexander. As we said, Kent Austin's offense for you this afternoon. Good veteran offensive line. Yo Murphy is the addition at slot back. Mike Trevathan with hepatitis A, not able to play. And Murphy gives them a little bit of a deep threat, but they're going to miss Trevathan.
That's the one thing. They can get vertical with Joe Murphy.
First down, some movement on the line, and a flag goes down. And here's Sean Millington thundering into the secondary, down into Calgary territory at the 42-yard line. Alondra Johnson finally brings them down, but kept yesterday. The Calgary linebacker said this is the guy that worries them.
Offside, Calgary number 98, decline. First down, BC.
Lubo Zizakovic moved early, but Sean Millington's not your average fullback.
Oh, really not. I mean, this guy's 6'2", 225, runs about a 4.5 40. He has it all. He has all the tools. But what has to happen to allow him to do his best is that Austin has to have some success in passing the ball down the field, and Philpott has to be able to stretch his defense by running the ball wide and let Millington take it inside.
First down after the 24-yard pickup, and there's a catch for Corey Philpott. Out of the backfield, Matt Finley tackles Philpott. But a challenge for Philpott to be a big factor today from his coach, Dave Ritchie. As we set the defensive lineup, Lugo Zizakovic is starting at tackle. Stu Laird, an all-star for the first time in his 11-year career. Will Johnson, always a force at defensive end, and then the linebackers, not really any holes in that defense. Second down, 3, and Philpott to the 30, and he'll be close to the first down.
You notice a lot of times, and watch through the course of this game, how deep Corey Philpott lines up in the backfield. He has to get there about 8 or 10 yards because his explosion, once the ball is snapped, is so quick. A lot of times Ken Austin can miss a handoff with him. And he gets great momentum going toward the line of scrimmage. And in that case, enough momentum to pick up the first down.
At the Calgary 30-yard line, Lions on the move. Austin looking for Yo Murphy, and he stretched out, but the pass overthrown. Kenton Leonard in coverage for the Stampeders. It'll be second down.
Number 89, Yo Murphy.
This is the thing about Kent. A lot of times, if he feels some heat, he's going to release the ball a little quicker. This was an opportunity. Greg Knox, had he played true center field, watched the ball a little bit more, he'd have had a chance for a pick, as opposed to looking at Yo Murphy and trying to make the hit on him.
Second down and 10, BC from the
Austin's numbers last week in relief of Danny McManus, who is available for duty today. Kent doesn't want to get into too many 2nd and 10s. That's the situation here. Pass off the hand of Alexander, falls incomplete. It'll be third down.
Big test so far for this BC offensive line. These guys, if they can buy some time for Ken Austin to deliver the ball, this receiving core is good enough. They're not flashy, they're not real speedy, but they're technically really, really good as far as reading defenses, getting into the open area. And speaking of really good, number 5, Louis Pasaglia, just absolutely the best.
All-time 36-yard attempt, but Louis misses this one. And the Stampeders will be content to give up the single. Well, Louis missed a big one against the Stampeders, which cost the Lions a regular season win. Wally Buono's team dodges a bullet.
All right, happy birthday. Nice kick. Happy birthday to buddy. Sending in section
Here you
of row 31. Your wife and daughter are sending you to the Grey Cup in Vancouver. Good for you, bud. Happy first anniversary to Cheryl,
Sure.
Rob, Bill.
Okay.
And happy birthday to
Alrighty.
14th to Natalie, love, Dad, and Gina. And happy Sweet 16 to Lisa German. And I can't really hear you people. You're not making enough noise. Go, Stan, go!
Okay. Yep.
ACT Mobility is pleased once again this season to offer the services of our emergency.
So how many secondary guys they have in already?
540-2377.
Lead me into it.
Yep.
Number home if you're needed.
One,
ACT
two.
Mobility volunteer will bring you the message.
They got 6 or 7? Just 6, eh?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, 6.
Coca-Cola is the official soft drink of the Calgary Stampeders. Always Coca-Cola.
8:48 to play in the opening quarter, and the BC Lions in front of the Calgary Stampeders 4-0. The best friend of both teams this afternoon could be the heater. Last year it was propane power driven. It froze. It got so cold. This year they're using natural gas, and they hope it will not freeze. It is minus 21 in the wind. Gentlemen.
Calgary scrimmaging first down from the 35 after the missed field goal, and Flutie finds Brian Wiggins up near the 45, close to a first down and kept. We're seeing 6 DBs already for the BC Lions.
Well, Coach Ritchie had said yesterday he has dressed 8 defensive backs.
Jefferson, number 20.
Les Brown is in the backup position, but there's 6 DB that they bring in is number 23, Tony Collier. This is a guy that plays extremely well. He's a rookie, lots of speed, and that will enhance and enable this defense, if they want to, and if they need to double cover Alan Pitts, and all the rest of the guys are really solid as far as being able to play man coverage across the board.
Second and short. Give to Stewart off the right side. And Tony Stewart, 1,000-yard rusher during the regular season, has the first down. Tyrone Chapman with the tackle. So many weapons for Doug Flutie to work with today behind a veteran offensive line.
The big thing that you can see across this offense, and everybody's aware of it, the absence of Dave Sapunjas. And that was a big blow to them last week to lose him again, re-breaking the collarbone.
First down Calgary, and they pitch it to Stewart. Gain tackle after a gain of 4.
Close to a 5-yard gain.
Dave Cheaters, the Calgary native, with the tackle for BC as we set the Lions D for you. Angelo Snipes, a big factor 2 weeks ago in the game against Calgary, but when you talk Lions defense, you're talking about the secondary.
You're talking a solid secondary, a veteran secondary, and this is a defense that'll get after you, stroke you when they get there, and make you pay a price.
Only question, Barry Wilburn playing with cracked ribs. Here's Wiggins inside. Something you don't see from Calgary very often. The safety, Tom Europe, with the tackle. But it's a first down for Brian Wiggins on a rare carry.
They ran Wiggins out of the backfield last week a couple of times, and they tried to get a mismatch on him, possibly with a linebacker, or make the secondaries have to make some adjustment. Now this time they just came back inside with a little counter play. Wiggins, a tough little guy, able to carry the ball. He's not that big. He's 5'11", about 185 pounds, out of Texas Southern. Picks up the first down for Calgary Stampeders.
Well, the Calgary Stampeders have won 14 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams. In fact, the last Lion win was back in 1991, and the Fluties were on the same team. In fact, that day, Darren Flutie caught passes for over 200 yards. Different story today, though. Stampeders moving, play action, and Vince Danielson with the catch. To the 44-yard line, Vince Danielson, a former quarterback with UBC. He's the guy replacing Dave Sapunjas.
And this is a guy that has all the tools. He's 6'4", about 210 pounds. great hands, and the wonderful thing about it that we've realized in the past few weeks of getting an opportunity to see him play is the fact of what he can do after he catches the ball. Makes the first guy miss him, you're going to have to break down and make a good solid tackle against this guy.
Second and short yardage, and Tony Stewart has a hole left side. It opens up. Foot race, and Tony Stewart will score. Touchdowns on the ground in the regular season.
Tony Stewart, when you have 6 defensive backs, as I said in the onset of this game, Doug Flutie's going to look across there. He's going to want to run it. He collapses everything down. Good, quick feet by Tony Stewart. Breaks back across the grain, and then it's a foot race, and this guy's got plenty of speed, as you saw, to get it in for the major.
After last year's loss in the Western Final, they wanted to improve the running game up to 4th best in the league. With Stewart carrying the mail to convert good, and with 5:29 to go in the first quarter at McMahon Stadium in the Western Final, Calgary has its first lead.
Very significant drive that time. They mixed it up completely as far as throwing the ball to the inside guys as they normally do. They mixed it throwing to the backs, and then Tony Stewart was able to run the ball. So Doug Flutie has come out wanting to establish every facet of his weaponry today.
Well, Stewart had 54 yards rushing against Saskatchewan in the semifinal, gets 44 on 1 touchdown carry. And their success on the run just makes Doug Flutie even tougher.
I love you, Mom, I love you.
Well, Tony with 53 yards already today. He's used to playing in the cold conditions. Iowa running back, in fact, holds the school record for rushing. Ball bouncing by Philpott. And now he takes off, and he is dangerous. There is a flag down. Junior Thurman with the tackle.
Bring it back for an illegal block against BC, Chris.
Man, that should negate a 25-yard Philpott return. Ken Lazarick is the referee today. We'll sort it out and return to McMahon Stadium in Calgary for the '94 Western Final.
Right there.
Legal block, BC number 47, 10-yard penalty, first down for BC.
Chapman. Not yet.
Have you got it wide again? That's return of it up 9 yards, but there was 10 yards penalty. Okay, minus 1.
Did you, if I suggested that to you, the penalty pitch isn't
Okay.
Thanks. No.
We'll know when we get there, I think, boss.
Full history lesson here.
This is like going down the yellow brick road.
BC and Calgary playing in the Western Final for the first time since 1964. Back then it was 2 out of 3, and Joe Kapp was tossing the football or handing off to Willie Fleming for the Lions. They went on to win their first Grey Cup. Austin over the middle, and Yo Murphy can't hang on. He took a lick from Alondra Johnson, a former BC Lion who has led the verbal pregame hype of this game.
he not only leads the verbal, but he'll lead the physical also. Yo Murphy comes down, wants to settle in the zone, then he's going to slide it back inside a bit, exactly where Alondro's going to come from. You're going to be a little more intelligent about that receiver. Once you curl up, slide to the outside, make that linebacker have to travel a little further range before he's able to put his helmet on you.
He's in a foul mood because he was not elected a Western All-Star. Here comes Will Johnson. Austin just got it away, and Darren Flutie with the catch. And Flutie up to the 40-yard line, dropped the ball. Looks like the Lions get back on it. Yo Murphy was there for BC. But already, Kep, we're seeing Darren Flutie, the possession receiver for BC, have an impact.
What a matchup on the outside. You're going to get a lot of heat coming from Calgary's defense, but Kent Austin was able to step right up into the pocket. Soft hands by Darren Flutie. Now the ball's stripped away by A.J. Alondra Johnson. But Yo Murphy is the guy that comes in and just makes a tremendously big heads-up play to recover that ball and keep possession for Kent Austin and the BC Lions.
Darren Flutie broke Mervyn Fernandez's records. And here's Millington stopped up at the line of scrimmage. Kenny Walker shut the door.
You got to have a little more imagination, I think, than just line up and think you're going to run this ball right down the throat of the Calgary defense. You line up and hand this ball off. These guys read, they react, and they tackle extremely well. As you see, there's 4 or 5 helmets on that stack.
Kenny Walker's had a great year, former Denver Bronco. I'll tell you what, he does a pretty good two-step in the dressing room, too. He was entertaining the teammates yesterday with his dancing. Here's Millington, and oh, boy, he popped by Matt Finley. But it's fun watching these linebackers, Kevin.
I love to watch this. I tell you what, I've just been in such a tremendous high the last couple of weeks of watching all this great defense is being played. But here's what you got to do. If they're going to bring it over the middle, you make them pay, as Matt Finley just did. But to his credit, Sean Millington held on to the ball.
32 years of age. Matt Finley playing in his 10th playoff game.
By the way, Chris, who was actually leading? I noticed that he was leading you in that two-step. You're a pretty good dancer yourself.
Dave Ritchie will be patrolling the sidelines, coming off what might have been his most satisfying victory as a head coach. He's surveying here because it's 3rd and 1, and the Lions will go for it.
And this is the kind of play that should be automatic. Kent Austin take the sneak, quarterback sneak, get behind Ian Sinclair, drop your head, and explode.
Well, Millington will explode, and he'll go over midfield for the first down. They decide to go with the bigger package, 6'2", 225, Sean Millington.
That's not a bad safety valve to turn around and hand it to. This guy, once he gets his steam up and get his nose pointed straight ahead, he is hard to stop.
1st and 10 Lions in midfield.
Well, BC's enjoyed offensive success. In this first quarter, they trail 7-4. Austin out of the backfield. That's Corey Philpott. Kept already, Philpott's had a bigger impact this afternoon than a week ago against Edmonton.
Now what they're trying to do here, they'll put 3 receivers, take the slot back over from the short side of the field, but then they take Corey Philpott, the tailback, they line him up as the number 2 receiver on the short side, match him up one-on-one against Matt Finley, and then that's where they want to go. They feel that they have the mismatch that they need. The main thing they have, can Kent Austin have the time to get the ball and Philpott make the reception?
Philpott, a question mark yesterday. He pulled a light muscle earlier in the week. Here's Austin in the flat and almost picked off. Kenton Leonard had 6 points on his mind.
Very nearly intercepted by Kenton Leonard. Intended for 85, Matt Clark. It is 2nd down.
Kent, very slow. He doesn't see Kenton Leonard at all. All he sees right now is the receiver standing out there, and Kent knows that one thing, he is very fortunate to have a chance to be able to line this ball up again. Kenton Leonard, normally very sure-handed, just knocks it down.
Extra DB in for Calgary on 2nd and 10. Flutie's open again over the middle. And Darren Flutie at the 25-yard line will move the yardsticks once again for the BC Lions.
12 yards on the play, first down.
Darren Flutie, very instrumental last week. 8 catches for 84 yards. Reminds me a lot of a guy that I played with, Brian Kelly. Very keen about his pass patterns, very methodical in the way that he works. Sure hands, not blazing speed, but he reads defenses extremely well. And more importantly, he and Ken Austin have a great chemistry together.
First down. Austin, nice protection, looking into the end zone. And the ball is incomplete. Gerald Vaughn recovering nicely in coverage on Yo Murphy.
Ken Austin not wasting any time in trying to utilize that vertical speed of Yo Murphy, lays it up there, but to his credit, Gerald Vaughn with great closing speed and explosion is able to make up some ground and knock the pass away.
Yeah, he almost picked it off. Had an interception against BC earlier this year, but it did look like Murphy had a step in the end zone. Clock ticking down with 12 seconds remaining, first quarter.
Safety blitz.
Austin gets it away to Yo Murphy and tackled near the 15-yard line. That is close to a first down. Gerald Vaughn again in coverage against Murphy.
Gerald Vaughn, number 38, with the tackle.
Greg Knox, the safety, walks up just to Ken Austin's right. You can see his eyes. He's looking at it. Now the read is go to the inside where the safety is vacated. Yo Murphy reads that extremely well. Ken Austin again with that very quick release of his is able to get the ball inside. The measurement just short of the first down.
Well, Kent Austin is the other CFL quarterback from Natick, Massachusetts.
Becomes just short.
Ironically born, same hometown as Doug Flutie. What a first quarter he's had. He's 9 for 17, 126 yards.
We've said this over and over again, but that right there is the best defense that you can have against Doug Flutie.
3rd and inches, and this time Austin does keep. And we'll move the sticks on what is the final play of the first quarter. Stampeders with the lead. But when we return to McMahon Stadium, the BC Lions knocking at the door.
Gotcha.
Okay. We got ourselves a game, boys. You good? It's all right. It's all right, big guy.
Where are the lines?
Don't quit your day job.
I'm not trying to. I don't have a day job. Thank you.
30 seconds, go.
Can you try to get them a little warmer? Can you?
10 for it?
Did you see if somebody
Well,
come
10
outside and
seconds,
get one off
okay.
the counter?
Thanks.
Not you, but somebody.
15 seconds, Scott. 10 seconds.
That should have been, could have been, would have been. You know?
5 to your boys. 4.
I should have been.
After one quarter of the West Final at McMahon Stadium, Calgary Stampeders lead by 3, but the Lions are in scoring territory. Final Sunday will continue in just a moment.
Sit down. This is when BC wants to keep this thing going, keep that momentum, not get delayed by these timeouts.
Yeah.
We can make a mention if we come back to have a little time on that.
Yeah, not much you can do at the quarter though, yeah.
But we get the timeout for the quarter, then we get the timeout here.
Yeah, but that's our fault. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. But I'll say that you call it.
We had out of sync on commercial because of the quick changeover from east to west. They had to get it. We're backed up on it. If he runs everything, and don't you forget it.
I just thought it was kind of an awful long play.
Actually, they've canceled the game. That's it. Move along. Nothing to see here now.
I hope next year we're having the same conversation. They would be off. Nobody seems to realize.
Yep. Yep.
Come on, fans, let's help over here, Junior. Run the ball, run the ball.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium in Calgary on Final Sunday. Baltimore making history this afternoon with a victory in Winnipeg. And now Calgary and BC trying to sort out the Western finalists in this year's Grey Cup. Interesting first quarter numbers, the passing yards of BC, the rushing yards of Calgary.
Forget all those numbers. Look at the bottom. There's where I feel it really matters. The possession that Ken Austin and the BC offense have been able to control this football and basically the first quarter.
And they have driven down into Calgary territory deep and will have a first down at the 18-yard line as we start this second quarter. What Ken Austin said, you can't expect 500 yards of offense from our team. Here they are with 159 after one quarter. Austin over the middle. There's Darren Flutie, this time stopped up at the 10. His fourth catch of the game, but just 4 yards on the play, and Alondra Johnson to bring him down.
No secrets what's going to happen. Ken Austin empties his backfield set out. 3 receivers on both sides. Calgary knows he's going to have to throw it quickly. They get upfield very fast. Darren Flutie does an excellent job just dropping underneath the cover. Ken Austin lays the ball out there on the money.
So it's 2nd and 6. Austin into the end zone, and it's almost picked off. The ball falls incomplete. Greg Knox, who's been on a real tear of late, had a chance for the interception. He has 6 picks in the last 4 games.
Chris, I really think right there you can see the sense between Ken Austin and Yo Murphy not being that familiar with one another. Ken Austin reading something that he thought, threw it to where he thought the spot was going to be. Yo Murphy break to the inside. Greg Knox was the closest there. Normally, again, like I say, very sure-handed, 10 picks through the course of the 94 season.
It's up to Louis Pasaglia. From 16 yards out, Pasaglia good. He's 2 for 3 this afternoon. And that knots the score at 7. Let's rejoin Scotto.
All right, Chris, with our game day analysts now, Ron Lancaster and David Archer. Ron, you've often said in the past that the other team better get another ball, in this case Calgary, because BC is not letting them play with the one they're using here.
They're doing a tremendous job of controlling the game, but the big thing is you got to get the touchdown, get it in the end zone. It's still 7-7. Calgary hadn't had the ball.
David, how about Kent Austin, a guy that 3 weeks ago separated his shoulder, and he's standing in there?
Yeah, I think Kent's doing a great job of seeing what's happening in the secondary and distributing the ball really well.
Okay, Chris, back to you.
Well, there's Ken Austin on the phone upstairs. Kept 3 possessions. They've scored 3 times, and yet they haven't got in the end zone.
That's all right. I think I said, it's still the fact that they're coming away with some points. The confidence that they can get the ball down that close. Sooner or later, something's going to click, and that big play will happen. That just constitutes that this BC team has to be patient. If it doesn't fit, don't try to force it today.
Marvin Coleman accepting the Louis Pasaglia kickoff, but Coleman with a nice return.
Marvin Coleman, number
Brought
17.
down in front of the BC Lion bench near midfield. And when Doug Flutie has a short field to work with, he's even tougher to deal with.
It's crucial that this BC defense comes out. If they're going to line up with 6 or 7 defensive backs in the secondary, they are going to have to be able to contain this rushing game and Tony Stewart. If not, Doug Flutie will put this ball right down your throat.
Well, last week the Stampeders were slow starters against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but they're known for revving it up in the second quarter. Flutie off play action, and Vince Danielson with the catch, dragged down by the extra DP for the BC Lions, Tony Collier, who played well last week at Commonwealth Stadium.
Perfect scenario for Doug Flutie. He's having a great time being able to rush the ball with Tony Stewart. Now he just comes out with the play action pass. Vince Danielson, somebody that you're not going to really pay a lot of attention to until he catches enough passes on you. Comes out, makes a very good catch. Doug Flutie very crisp with his passing, very crisp with his play selection.
And kept, as they did last week against Saskatchewan, going now to the no-huddle offense. First down, here comes Andrew Stewart on the rush, but he gets it away to Will Moore. And Moore down to the 35-yard line, close to a first down for Calgary.
This hurry-up offense was significant in last week's victories. You said, Chris, the fact is it keeps everybody sharp, everybody focused. There's no time for your mind to be lackadaisical and taking other thoughts in it. Just worry about your responsibility of what you're supposed to do on the next play.
7-7 tie, Calgary with the first down at the BC 35. Another quick one, and that's Alan Pitts with the catch.
Alan Pitts, number 18.
To the 28-yard line. Enos Jackson back in the lineup for BC. Missed last week, and that's the first catch of the game for number 18.
Chris, we talked about chemistry, and between Alan Pitts and Doug Flutie, there's an incredible amount of it. They read defenses perfectly together. He has a sixth sense of where Alan Pitts is going to make his move and how he's going to get away from defenders.
2nd and 4. Flutie on a roll. And Flutie has a completion. It's Will Moore with his second catch of the drive. Last year, Will Moore had the lone touchdown in the semifinal against the BC Lions.
Doug Flutie showing his athleticism of being able to sprint out, throw the ball on the run. Will Moore, an excellent target. Doug Flutie doing a great job of spreading this ball across the width of the field.
Calgary on the move, first down. Flutie calls his own number. Tyrone Chapman trying to drag him down, but Flutie with the slide near the 5-yard line. Well, we anticipated he would run today. That's the first time he's called his own number.
If you take the way that Doug Flutie has to do, he wants to read the defense. He's going to come back, step back. He's going to read the middle linebacker. That's the only guy that can make the play. He comes back, makes the move right up the sideline. They get a good block by Doug Davies.
First and goal from the 7. Flutie into the end zone, and Pitts looked over the wrong shoulder, and it goes incomplete. Let's take a look at that quarterback draw play that Flutie set up.
As he go back, all he wants to do, he wants to step back, reads the defense. Now he just sees a little opening. If you're going to have that spy technique of a linebacker to be responsible for Doug Flutie's running, it is going to be a long day at the office for any of those BC linebackers if they had to do that job.
Dave Ritchie said yesterday he thinks Flutie's as fast as any quarterback in the CFL. 2nd and goal. And
quick whistle.
Play doesn't get off. It's a procedure call against Calgary. And they'll move it back 5.
Legal procedure, Calgary number 64, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's Ken Moore, the 12-year veteran, looking for his 4th Grey Cup appearance, and kept. Les Brown is into the game for the BC Lions as an extra DB. 2nd and goal. The flag comes down. Flutie into the end zone. Moore, touchdown!
Chris, I'm not sure, but bring it back. It's going to be offside against Calgary. And the culprit may be Alan Pitts.
Calgary, 18, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down and here.
So a major break for the Lions.
A lot of that time when you start to get as a slot back, try to get that momentum going toward the line of scrimmage, time the snap count so that you have some speed coming off and you put the defensive back at a disadvantage. Alan Pitts was caught in the neutral zone.
2 penalties in a row against Calgary, pushes it back to the 17. Second down over, goal to go. Everybody out of the backfield. Here comes the rush on Flutie into the end zone. Ball is dropped. Danielson had it, but not long enough.
Into the end zone, 488, Pitts Danielson.
And it'll be third down.
Crucial situation like this, it just shows you the great confidence that Doug Flutie has in this young receiver. From the shotgun, spreads everybody out to the right-hand side, the wide side. Then he comes back to the quick post to the young rookie off the backside. Very catchable pass. The ball was thrown extremely well.
Mark McLaughlin, number 13, to attempt
Tees it up for Mark McLaughlin's field goal attempt.
McLaughlin 2 for 2 last week. Flutie the holder, and from 24 yards out, McLaughlin misses. So Pasaglia missed one, and now McLaughlin, but hold on. There's a flag on the play.
I think they're going to get offside against BC. Mark will get another shot at kicking this.
And it's already heating up between these bitter rivals. Stu Laird was saying yesterday, it's not Edmonton, but it's close. These two teams don't like each other.
These teams, they haven't forgotten what a tough game they had in the 18th week of the season in BC Place when Calgary won 24-23.
Contact the kicker, BC number 00, half the distance to goal line, third down repeated.
Les Brown called for contacting McLaughlin.
Right there's a walking miracle story. And Les Brown, when we saw him last week getting carted off the field in Commonwealth Stadium and went through this hyperbaric chamber in Vancouver, and it has made his recovery period an incredible feat.
Les Brown 0-0. And now it's a 15-yard attempt. And McLaughlin redeems himself with the field goal, and Calgary back on top. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be a good game.
It's sponsored by Greyhound Lines of Canada.
There it is. Okay. Got it. David, Monner.
No.
Quarterback, he entered his name at Lazy Boy Furniture Gallery down the end, and the three friends are enjoying the game and freezing their butts off. Some Lazy Boy recliner set up in the end zone. Let's hear that Calgary crowd! Make some noise, folks!
Team first.
9:28 to play in the second quarter. The Calgary Stampeders in front of the Lions 10-7. Dan Kepley has already alluded to the miracle, and this is it. Les Brown, who blew his knee against the Eskimos, spent a lot of time in the Vancouver Canucks hyperbaric chamber. He had 5 visits to that contraption. It worked. Gentlemen.
Sure did. We thought Les Brown's career had come to an end last week. Here's Corey Philpott making his way Up to the 39-yard line. The only problem with that chamber is if you're claustrophobic, it's a tough place to be for an hour, as Les Brown found out.
I tell you what, it's the kind of thing that is worth going through if it's going to extend your career. I'm even having an opportunity. I'm thinking I'm going to go out there and try that thing for about a year. I'm thinking about making a comeback here. Yeah.
Corey Philpott got 5 on the last carry for BC. 2nd and 5 for Austin. Over the middle again. Who else but Darren Flutie?
About a yard short, it looks like, Chris. It depends on the spot.
I think Darren's intent on us calling his name as much as his brother's this afternoon.
Take a look when you come inside with those linebackers. Guy's going to take a shot at you. He's going to make you pay the price. Darren Flutie was very slow coming up and getting up off the turf. Having a hard time just catching his breath. He took a shot by Matt Finley in the ribs.
That's another area where Trevathan's so good. Over the middle, we saw a big catch by him last week, late in the 4th quarter, which set up the winning field goal. Well, here we are. 3rd down, just less than a yard at the BC 44. Millington off the right side. He's not going to get there. Alondra Johnson was waiting for him. Alondra Johnson has been a huge factor for Calgary so far this afternoon.
Sponsored by Tropicana Juice and Software Athletics.
Anybody ever put us down? You can visit him stand his ground. He would tell me sometimes I got no choice. You gotta kick him out. Anybody you
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Real. To the cup.
You got to kick him out.
To the cup, baby. To the cup. It's real here, baby. You better be ready.
Alondra Johnson, the leading tackler for Calgary this year, Kevin. He's been the leading tackler today,
He
too.
really is. AJ's right here behind the ref. They plug up everything up front. They force Millington to have to brush it outside. And when he does, Alondra closes. He keeps the outside shoulder and arm free. Boom! Makes a good strike. Good solid tackle right up into the chest of Sean Millington. Drives him back.
7:45 to go, first half at McMahon. Flutie quickly to Tony Stewart. Fumbles the football. And Alan Pitts picks it up. How do you like that?
You gotta be good to be lucky and lucky to be good, but everything just bounced that way for the Calgary Stampeders on that play.
41 yards. Stewart and Pitts.
With the recovery.
Tony Stewart waggles out of the back, wide. Doug Flutie reads, all of a sudden no linebackers around him. Then they can close on the ball very quickly.
First and goal from the 2. Stewart again, touchdown. Tony Stewart with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, his 3rd of these playoffs.
Chris really comes back. This defense has held this team in so much through the course of the season, even when it struggled a little bit. And Doug Flutie's offense hasn't struggled very much. It allows, with the number of points that Doug Flutie can put on the board offensively, their defense can take a lot of chances, a lot of gambles, and they come up big. This time, after that third down play and that stop of Sean Millington, Doug Flutie wastes no time in getting the ball into the zone.
McLaughlin adds the extra point. The Stampeders open up a 10-point lead.
Here's the difference you're going to see between Calgary's offense on short yardage and BC's that time. They're going to come right at you. Get off the ball up in front. Rocco Romano, Bruce Covington, Davies, Clydesdale, Will Moore. Everybody's getting off the ball. Give it to Stewart. Get the momentum going straight ahead and put it where it's supposed to be, in the end zone.
Well, the only knock against Stewart has been his penchant for putting the ball on the ground.
Love you, man. That's two balls I'm bringing home to you. Box all, we still in the house. Love you all. Peace.
Taking care of some souvenirs. That time he put the ball on the ground, and it turned out to be a good thing for the Stampeders. The alert play of Alan Pitts.
Speaking of those footballs, too, I think this is the end of the decade for the Spalding J5B football. They are going to become collector's items because there's a new contract in place.
McLaughlin kicking it downfield, ball bouncing off the hand of Philpott, and it's McLennan. And he is tripped up. Great tackle by Pee Wee Smith. 6:40 to go, first half. Here's Scott.
All right, Chris, well, final Sunday is all in aid of deciding who plays in the 82nd Grey Cup Classic next weekend in Vancouver. Our coverage starts on Saturday with Countdown Saturday from BC Place at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. Then on Grey Cup Sunday, we'll be on the air at 5 Eastern again with Countdown to Kickoff, and game coverage of the 82nd Classic starts 1 hour later. We already know one half of the entry, the Baltimore CFLers, and here in Calgary, we're in the process of completing the field. Chris?
Here's Austin looking downfield. Yo Murphy catches that in front of Gerald Vaughn, and quickly BC moves back into Calgary territory.
I was just going to say right before the snap how crucial it is for Ken Austin, this offense, to come back and respond to that touchdown. And Ken Austin's doing an excellent job. Sets back there. Those guys up front are buying him a lot of time. You've got Smith, Chronopoulos, Sinclair, Tara, Stevenson. These guys are doing an excellent job. And then, as Ken Austin had been just the dinky passes, nickel and diamond, he goes downtown into the center for a big game.
As you mentioned earlier, that's what Yo Murphy can bring to the Lions offense. Here's Austin looking for Ray Alexander, and a terrific catch in front of Gerald Vaughn. So 2 completions for Austin, and quickly in scoring range, a 20-yard catch by the veteran Ray Alexander.
His pure physical stature was the thing that enabled him to make this. He's 6'4". Now look at the elevation. He gets vertical, goes at the highest point, goes up and attacks that football, and makes another. That's 2 big, long receptions for the BC offense.
First down, and it's Millington, breaks a tackle, and Sean Millington to the 16-yard line. Safety Greg Knox tripped him up. Sean broke one last week against Edmondson for a touchdown.
Quick feet, he's powerful. Coach Ritchie happened to keep commenting and complimenting this ball player on his maturity, that he has come into his own. He said, this player is a man. He comes out there every day, and he has just grown so much as a professional athlete.
First down on the pitch to Philpott. Corey Philpott with a hole. And he bursts down to the 7-yard line.
Lions is inside the 10-yard line.
Close to another Lions first down.
Chris, we're seeing something that doesn't happen a lot with this is a team that's being able to rush the ball against the best defense in the CFL.
Yep, Stampeders average 78 yards rushing against this year. Number 1 defensively in that category. First down. Touchdown to go for BC. They'll try Philpott again. Cuts back near the goal line and down at the 1. Matt Finley saving a touchdown for Calgary.
2 things, when you line up this deep, you get the ball, you give up a little yardage, but it helps a young player like Corey Philpott able to see the holes, and he's able to make the cuts and try to set up his blocks a bit. And then not only that, he has got that great explosion and burst of speed when he gets his nose pointed toward the goal line.
Impressed with the effort by Philpott. He comes out on this second and short situation. Ryan Hansen into the game.
But he has had, Coach Ritchie said, a problem. He pulled a calf muscle a little bit during the course of the week at practice.
This is Sean Millington territory. He gets the handoff, left side, touchdown.
25, Sean Millington with the 1 yard ball.
So the BC Lions answer right back after Calgary had opened up a 10-point lead.
What a great compliment and a confidence builder for this offense. Ken Austin, look right down the line of scrimmage. You're going to see the explosion. The power of this guy. He gets hit in the backfield. Good, strong leg movement. Able to get it across the end zone. Off that left side behind the veteran tackle who's retiring at the end of this season, Rob Smith.
Basaglia in to add the extra point. 2:56 to go, first half at McMahon Stadium in the '94 Western Final. And it's been a good one so far. Game. Got a game. That's the point. I wanted to say that on the Yo Murphy pass. That's no problem for these for the quarterbacks, eh? Yeah, it's. Yeah, he hasn't. So they've scored every possession. Well, there was the long pass to Yo Murphy, another one to Ray Alexander, and Sean Millington capped the drive with this touchdown plunge.
One of the things that Calgary does so well, that they did again on that short yardage play, they plug up the center, the middle, and they make him take it a little diagonally, and then they pursue to it. Sean Millington was able to get his shoulders pointed toward the goal line and his nose across it for the major.
Here's Marvin Coleman. Up near the 45 before he's pushed back. Calgary football when we return to McMahon Stadium.
49-yard kickoff for Louis Basaglia.
It's his fault.
Yes, Terry.
Tell you what, Barry Wilburn's a gamer, but how about Scott Oak? He's hurt, but he's playing.
Speak up, you're fading. Go ahead. Yes. Yes. Gotcha. Gotcha. I don't know.
You coming to us? Okay. I'm going to say, two great defensive coaches. What's going on here? Making a liar out of you. I wanted to talk. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
20 seconds about. Straight to you guys.
15 left, right?
what's going on. Two great defensive minds, and we've got a shootout in the Western Final.
We talked to both of those coaches yesterday about that. These guys are great friends on and off the field. They're competitors today. They know each other so well. Coach Ritchie just kind of giggled when I asked him, I said, how good is this going to make the chess game for tomorrow? He said, it's going to be interesting. And that's exactly what it is today.
So far, the edge has gone to the offense. 2:49 to go, first half. 17-14 Calgary. Looney in the flat in front of the BC bench. Wiggins has the catch.
Wiggins a real key to the Calgary offensive success this season. Double break comes to the out. Now watch how he concentrates so hard, getting his foot in bounds, and Doug Flutie throws it exactly where it needs to be thrown. And Brian Wiggins comes up with an excellent reception.
Working on the veteran, James Jefferson. First down, play action, and Flutie has it up to Danielson. And he's wrestled down. Charles Gordon, a hero last week with the tackle, but Danielson has been a reliable target today, 14 yards.
With some zip, Doug Flutie just plays the ball out there, quick out pattern, soft, cushy zone played by the BC defense. Allowed Danielson just to be able to settle out there. Doug Flutie puts it again where it has to be.
At the BC 39, and early movement. Who jumped first? It'll be procedure Calgary.
League of procedure, Calgary number 60, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Doug Flutie trying to lead the Calgary Stampeders, the 92 Grey Cup champions, back to the big game. Bruce Coverton was the man who moved early, but kept 15 Calgary Stampeders in 94 have yet to wear Grey Cup rings, so plenty of fresh incentive to get back to the game. Here's another quarterback draw. Flutie dropped the football, and the Lions have it. A flag goes down late. Angelo Snipes has the football for BC.
I think they'll let BC is going to keep possession. They're going to get an illegal block, a clipping against Calgary. BC should decline that and then make it possession. Ken Austin.
Illegal block, Calgary number 88, decline. First down BC.
Take a look again now. Doug Flutie, it's a quarterback draw. It's set all the way. Angelo Snipes comes across, and what he did, Snipes swiped that ball out of Doug Flutie's hands. The illegal block by Danielson, but more importantly, Snipes came up with the possession. Ken Austin, 1st and 10.
Austin over the middle, incomplete. Looking again for number 82, Darren Flutie. Both these teams in victories last week turned the ball over just once each, and they've done it once apiece in this first half. The Lions did it on a third down turnover.
That's the thing about the Calgary defense playing against Ken Austin. You're not going to sack him very often because he does release the ball so quickly. But what you can do is force him to throw the ball before he's ready, before the receiver is making his break, and he may turn the ball over through interceptions.
2nd and 10. Austin has a receiver over the middle, and Gerald Vaughn brings down Darren Flutie. And he's had a terrific first half.
82 once again. Gerald Vaughn finally brought him down.
There really has to be some proud parents watching both of these Fluties play, as Darren does an excellent job coming inside on Kenton Leonard. Again, the big reason this is successful, the offensive line is buying time for Ken Austin to throw it.
In the flat, Matt Clark has his first catch of the game.
Every now and then you hear all the time, Ken Austin only plays within the hash marks. He's inside the slot back, and he's going to challenge you. Ken Austin can throw the ball and will throw the ball to the wideouts. If you lay off like that, he's going to take exactly again what you give him.
Pickup of 8 for Clark.
From the Calgary 52.
It's 2nd and 2. Look how deep Philpott is in the backfield as he takes that pitch. Got to the 50, pushed back, and I think he's going to be shy of the first down.
I think exactly right, Chris. Good eyes. It's going to get it past the 50, but it's going to be about a half a yard short of the first down. And again, another big call for Coach Dave Ritchie. Now there's a point. You're 2nd and 2. You're going to toss the ball back to a guy that's 10 yards deep. You've got to make up 12 yards in a hurry to pick up the first down.
Stu Laird and Sreko Zizakovic combined on the tackle, which keeps Philpott inches short. Bringing up 3rd down with 1:47 to go. First half, a 3-point Calgary lead. Well, they were stopped earlier on a 3rd down gamble, but Austin should be able to push forward behind Ian Sinclair and move the yardsticks. And again, things heating up. Will Johnson in the middle of it. He's expected to be a force today. Led the league in sacks this season.
The emotions are right on the shirt sleeves today, right there. Look, you see, Will. Come on, it's me and you. I'm leaving nothing in the locker room today, buddy. It's going to get done right here on the field today. Either you're going to get me or I'm going to take it to you.
Boy, he has had a dominating year. Some thought maybe he was not as big a force in last year's Western Final. The pass incomplete for Philpott out of the backfield. And Austin just checks because Mr. Johnson's in the neighborhood.
Quick read, 2-step drops. All of a sudden, Stu Laird got some heat, pushed up the middle of the pocket, and kind of got just in the throwing lane of Kent Austin, and he had to throw that ball short. Had he had a chance to dump it just a little quicker, he had Philpott out on the flat, wide open.
At the Calgary 49. It's 2nd and 10 with an extra deep back in for the Stamps. Here's the rush, and Austin stepped away. Looking deep for Flutie. He's got it. Darren Flutie, touchdown.
Number 82, Darren Flutie.
49 yards. Austin to Flutie. BC's back on top.
Does an excellent job of being able to step outside away from the pressure. We're going to see right here is going to be the motion. This is going to be Will Johnson's coming outside, but you'll see Kent Austin's going to take a step, just come right up inside of the heat, and then that buys a lot of time for him to lay up. There's the move. Now he just lays it out. He bought a little extra time, airs it up. Darren Flutie's able to chase it down, come underneath it, race to the corner for the major.
Louis Bisaglia with the extra point. 1:12 to go, first half. And Darren Flutie, what a half. 7 catches, 128 yards.
Holds it up there high. He's able to get behind Gerald Vaughn. Sure hands. Great concentration, gets it in, and a very excited Kent Austin.
Yeah, a couple words for the Calgary bench. Darren Flutie had just 1 touchdown in the last 8 weeks, but an enormous one here in the Western Final to get BC back in the lead.
111 receptions through the course of the 1994 season, 1,731 yards.
Well, he's been a force for a few years now, but yeah, once and for all, he's established, I think, to even a casual CFL observer that this guy is one of the stars of the league and not just the younger brother of the marquee player in the Canadian Football League.
He really has. He had some big shoes that he had to follow in, and I tell you what, this is a guy that makes his own footprints right now.
Bisaglia kicking it off, and again, it's Marvin Coleman. Breaks a tackle, tripped up as he gets to the 45-yard line. But Kemp, if the Stamps were a little on edge before the game, this has to be a cause for concern, down by 4 here late first half.
I think in a sense that is concerned, but some of the things that they've had open, they just haven't been able to get the ball there. BC, they did something that they normally don't do. They allowed a big play to happen and a big touchdown pass to take place. Calgary's defense normally doesn't do that kind of thing. Now it's crucial for Doug Flutie to try to make something happen with 1 minute left to go in the half.
Goes back to Danielson, and Danielson's at midfield. That's a pickup of 11 and a first down. Henry Newby with the tackle, and Dave Sapungis would love to be in there, but the man replacing him, Vince Danielson's done a solid job again this afternoon.
And don't think that every time Danielson doesn't come off the sideline, he and the Sponge are having a conversation about what's going on out there.
First down, Flutie wide side of the field. That's Brian Wiggins getting away. Travel football, but play whistle dead.
He's called it. Get out of here.
Move down at the 45-yard line.
Les Brown, a little frustrated, but he's going to have to run back and take his defensive spot because Doug Flutie's in a hurry-up offense for Calgary. Second and short yardage, and Stewart should have enough to move the sticks. 39 seconds to play, first half.
There is no one better in the CFL in the last 2-minute drill, working the clock, than a guy, that man right there, Doug Flutie. It's crucial that 3 points could be a given right here, but they're not going to continue to settle for 3. They want to take it in for the major.
Doug doesn't mind playing these wide-open football games. Alan Pitts was tripped up that time, and the flag flies, and Enos Jackson is the guilty party.
Enos Jackson did a very good job of trying to slow down Alan Pitts in the 18th week, the last game of the season in BC Place.
Illegal contact on a receiver, BC number 29, 10-yard penalty, first down Calgary.
Playing with a cast on his hand, but that certainly doesn't hurt his footwork. And here you can see that right hand just comes right up, and he just jams it right in the face of Alan Pitts, and Alan Pitts goes down like he's shot.
Scored a knockdown, but a first down. Here's Flutie, wide open, Will Moore. Charles Gordon has him out of bounds at the 8.
This is the kind of thing that's got to drive a defensive coach and a head coach like Dave Ritchie absolutely squirrely, in a sense that his defense had played that well, but in the last minute, play so soft and allow big plays to take place, and Doug Flutie to be able to march this ball down the field at will.
26 yards, the catch for Moore with under a half minute to go. First and goal, Stampeders. Flutie into the end zone, touchdown! He's got Moore in the end zone again. And they've got something going, Wilburn and Moore. Moore had to be restrained after the last catch, and Wilburn took a shot after the touchdown.
The key to this game, in any championship game, is that no matter how much emotions that you have, they have to be disciplined emotions. Don't take stupid penalties, don't create a problem. BC is the most penalized team in the CFL. The main thing that you have to do is don't get yourself thrown out of a football game, particularly when you are one of the key participants.
Well, Will Moore has been on a touchdown tear of late. 8 touchdowns in the last 8 regular season games, and he has struck twice this afternoon. McLaughlin with the extra point. Stamp back on top. In a thoroughly entertaining first half, which still has 23 seconds left, and the way Flutie and Austin are going, there may be more points on the board yet.
Take a look at the eyes of Doug Flutie as he comes back. He knows right now he's going to his slot back. Wilmore breaks to the out. He's wide open as he's able to create a significant cushion between he and Charlie Gordon, the halfback. Then here comes the taunting. Little chat here. Pee Wee says, hey, I got it covered here. I'm going to be the ref in the middle of this stuff. And hey, Barry Wilburn's a guy, he's been around the block and back. He's been to the mountain. He's got Super Bowl rings. He's physical. He's tough. He's intimidating. So if you're going to get in his face, hey, you better be able to back it up with me if you're going to come and talk to me like that. Because I can guarantee you, through the course of the second half, we're going to see some physical contact between Barry Wilburn and Will Moore somewhere.
Spencer McLennan to the 30-yard line, brought down there. 22-yard return, and here comes Austin. We've had 21 points in the last 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Look at these numbers. Not what you would have expected in a Western final.
Remember when we started off, you made me the defensive coordinator against these guys?
I knew we were in trouble early.
Next time, would you mind picking like Tom Wilkinson and Ron Lancaster? I may have a chance to defend those guys.
I know why you got out of coaching now. 18 seconds to play. Give to Millington, and Marvin Pope and Alondra Johnson converge.
Off to number 25, Sean Millington. Marvin Pope, number 91. Brought him down.
Pickup of close to 4. And Austin looks like he's content to let the clock run down.
Very much so. Terrific first half, both sides of the ball. Crucial that BC kept this ball game close.
Millington again, met by Pope and Johnson. That is the final play. The half's over, but the action's not.
A hockey game has broke out.
We're just getting...
We got hockey, we got football, we got it all here, folks, today on the CBC.
And we've got a whole half and maybe more to go. Dave Ritchie trying to break things up. Maybe Edmondson did show up yet because the feelings that usually surround a Battle of Alberta between the Stamps and the Eskimos are on display here between BC and Calgary. That's a great first half, and again, they're still having trouble separating some of the players. That's Wilbur back in the middle of it.
It's important that he keeps his cool. He's got to stay in this game somehow again. He's playing with some bad ribs, and he's playing with a bad attitude today as he's going in the secondary to BC Lions.
All right, they've got everybody separated. We're going down to Steve.
Thank you very much, Chris. I got the head coach of the BC Lions, Dave Ritchie, with me. Dave, emotions running very high.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what's going on. I still look over there. Something's going on over here. Something's going on over there. I don't know.
We've got a good old-fashioned Western shootout going here. Did you expect it?
I hope so. We weren't going to come in and lay down. We're going to come in and fight. So I guess we're fighting all over the place. Who knows?
What sort of adjustments are you going to make for the second half?
Well, I guess we'll have to get the Flutie a little bit better and maybe cover a little bit better. We're moving the ball all right, so we just got to get Les Brown in the game and get some coverage.
Thanks very much, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Now up to Scott.
All right, Steve, BC Lions haven't been to the Grey Cup in 6 years, and through 30 minutes, haven't they looked like a team eager to end that drought? But then the Stamps found form late in the half, and now it's a 3-point ball game. Yes, Terry. Well, I'll just say, here's Mark Lee. with these guys, and then I'll need about 10 seconds or 15 seconds to get to Mark Lee. But the intro will be, let's head back to Winnipeg, get the details on the victory from Mark Lee.
Oh, sorry. Sure.
Yes. No, I don't. It looks like a good crowd, actually. I'm saying, I guess 23. Yeah.
It's 45, that's Miss Drake.
45.
How are they?
Plus 5. Not too bad.
30 seconds.
I know it's a little high.
20 seconds.
Where's the flood on these? Is there? I don't think there is.
No, I think it's just hard.
15 seconds.
At McMahon Stadium in Calgary, one half of the West Final is complete. Stampeders lead by 3. Welcome back as we continue now on Final Sunday. A year ago, Stampeders head coach Wally Buono said his team's loss to the Edmonton Eskimos in the West Division Final would either destroy the team or make it stronger. Stamps went 15-3 on the regular season, so they may be stronger, but the BC Lions are giving them a game today. Let's bring in Chris Cuthbert and Dan Kepley now.
Well, surprising first half. We anticipated defense. At least Kepley had me convinced that's the way it was. Give you credit for one thing. BC took Alan Pitts out of the first half.
And I think that was the thing that they needed to do, but then all of a sudden they forgot about the guys like Will Moore and the Danielsons. All of a sudden on the other side of the ball, they haven't taken out, Calgary hasn't taken out a guy named Flutie. They haven't taken out Millington or also Philpott, and all those guys are having a field day.
Yeah, especially Darren Flutie. It really was his first half for BC.
Offensive line does an excellent job. Ken Austin buys himself some extra time, gets away from the heat, lays the ball out there. Darren Flutie does an excellent job of chasing the ball down. Concentration puts it into the end zone.
Boy, he was tough over the middle, and then the deep pass, which we weren't able to see, but we will see Will Moore, a touchdown pass from Doug Flutie.
Has become the go-to guy. Dave Sapunjas is down, you think Alan Pitts is there. Now Alan Pitts is getting hammered a bit in the secondary. Now Will Moore has stepped up and really taken on the challenge.
And this is what happened at the end of the half. Wilburn had said something to Moore after a catch prior to the touchdown, and Moore came back in Wilburn's face, and we saw it here, and then we saw it at the end of the first half. What did you make of all that?
Well, that's what's going to happen. There's emotions out there. When you're laid out there as far as a cornerback and a receiver, there's intimidation. There's one-on-one guys out there, and you have to be tough. You have to be cocky about it, and you can't take any slack from anybody. So we're going to see 30 more minutes of things just like that in this second half.
And maybe more. Can't wait, but first, let's go down and join Steve.
Chris, this is my read on what happened at the end of the first half. Throughout the first half, Barry Wilburn of BC Lions was going by the Calgary bench, constantly taunting the Stampeders, and I think it reached the point where the Stamps said, enough is enough, and they challenged Wilburn, and that's when the two teams got together and decided to talk things over going into the dressing room to end that first half. Chris is right. Emotions are running very high. Wally Buono and the Calgary Stampeders will make their way back out here to McMahon Stadium, where the temperature has actually improved just a little bit. The wind chill factor about an hour and a half before the game was minus 27. It's about minus 20 now. Wally, what did you say to your team in the dressing room during the half?
Well, I think the thing we want to emphasize is that we're ahead. We're not playing maybe as well on defense as we like, but you got to give Austin a lot of credit. He's playing very well. Our offense right now is keeping us in the game.
You said to us in the press conference yesterday, this would be a good game, a close game, a shootout. I don't think a lot of people believed you.
Well, again, that's why I'm the coach and they're the reporters. This is two good football teams with a lot of firepower.
Wally, good luck to you and the Stampeders in the second half. Right now, let's go upstairs to Scott.
All right, Steve, 30 minutes left in the West Division Final. That's how far away out of the Stamps of the Lions are from the date with Baltimore in the Grey Cup a week today in Vancouver. Stand by. The second half kickoff is next.
Hey, who did Louis' wife's birthday?
Yeah, Loa. We'll get her. We'll get her.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Who scored the most points against Calgary this year? Can you look that up? Yeah.
Edmonton.
One game, yeah. Edmonton
and
yeah, what was that final?
Commonwealth, I think.
38-12, was it? How about here? How about at McMahon? At McMahon.
BC Lions will kick off to start the second half. Marvin Coleman is the deep man near his own 25.
Okay.
Brian Wiggins, number 80, is back deep as well for Calgary.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium for what should be a terrific second half in the 1994 Western Final as the Stampeders and Lions duel for the right to play Baltimore in the Grey Cup game, and we're underway. Calgary with Marvin Coleman and a return being set up. Coleman trying to turn the corner up to the 53-yard line, so nice place for Doug Flutie to start the second half of this game after a 24-yard Coleman return. I'm not sure what the win factor is at this point, Kemp, but Doug Flutie will have it behind him in the third quarter. Great first half.
Look at the accuracy there. 13 completions that he had, 190 yards. And the main thing was that last minute and 4-second drive to complete the touchdown pass to Will Moore. What an excellent possession drive that was for the Calgary Stampeders.
At the 53, first down. And immediately it's Will Moore, Tyrone Chapman has the tackle for BC at the 50-yard line of the Lions. It's a pickup of 7. And here's how he distributed the football. I guess the big surprise, Pitts with just the one catch, but Will Moore, who has just caught his 5th of the game, was a key man.
Well, we said this about the beginning of the game. If you take Pitts out, he has 5, 6, 7 other guys that he can throw the ball to, and he is not shy. He'll put it out there, and these guys will make the catch for him.
2nd and 3. The option toss to Tony Stewart. Stewart runs over Charles Gordon and is close to the first down.
And he is close to that first down stick.
A little different look, by the Calgary offense, comes out with an option play. Doug Fleet just wants to come down the line of scrimmage, reads the option off of the end guy, and all of a sudden Tony Stewart is back there, nobody's around him, gives it to him, and he does what he does best. Runs with the ball, and they're calling him for the measurement. This is how close that play was.
Doug Flutie will confer on the sidelines. Kemp, you could tell from Dave Ritchie's interview with Steve Armitage into the first half, disappointed with the secondary. He takes so much pride in the secondary he's put together. They're full of great veterans, but Flutie's had his way so far.
Well, they had bit, but they hadn't broken up until that last minute of the first half. They played exceptionally good defense for 29 minutes. Now the fact is you got to go in there and say, hey guys, what happened that minute? What happened there to change the whole course of what we had done the previous 29 minutes? Now we've got to forget about that. We've got to go out there and play the next 30 minutes, all full 30 minutes, exactly the way we played the first 29.
He also said they got to pressure Flutie. They got to him at BC Place 2 weeks ago for 3 sacks. It is third down and short, and that'll move the yardsticks.
Keeper has a Stampeder first down.
Well, the first half numbers impressive offensively on both sides of the football.
The yards passing there by the BC Lions are incredible against a very tough Calgary defense.
Here's Tony Stewart up the middle. And Stewart with 3 yards.
On 1st and 10. About 3 yards.
Wally Buono's team, the average margin of victory at McMahon this year, Kep, has been over 4 touchdowns. The BC put up 21 points in the first half against the Calgary Stampeders. In fact, the most points scored by an opposing team here was 25 by Las Vegas. Second and 6. Flutie has a receiver. It's Danielson, but he's stopped up. Tighter coverage there. Les Brown.
0-0. Eyed him up.
Will this be his last game?
Well, you never know. I'm telling you, the way he's playing, he says that it's going to be his last game, but all of a sudden, he may go out and spend a little money and buy his own hyperbaric chamber and just have it there for the whole off season, and he'll be here for his 36th birthday.
Well, he desperately wants his last game, if he does retire, to be back home at BC Place Stadium.
That's what I felt so badly for him last week when he was carted off the field at Commonwealth Stadium, and that possibly was going to be his last game. To their credit, BC came back.
McLaughlin from 46 yards out, and Mark McLaughlin good. 3 for 3 today for McLaughlin, and the Stamps are up by 6. Damn, we got more too many, and of course, yeah.
Get in the game, buddy.
Yeah, really.
Swing and a miss.
Doing too many stats off the top of my head. Yep, I've seen it already, so that's good. We wanted to steal his thunder, but he wouldn't let it. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Most yards passing against Calgary this year. Welcome back to the shootout at McMahon. First possession of the second half. More points, 3 more for the Stampeders on the Mark McLaughlin field goal, and a 6-point lead as the Lions get set for their first second half possession. It's been so high scoring, we've already set one record today. that rash of points in the second quarter, the highest scoring quarter in playoff history. And Austin going downtown on the first play. And Matt Clark couldn't bring it down.
Austin looking deep for Matt Clark, number 85.
But Austin trying to stretch Calgary's defense on the first play. And he is slow to get up.
Austin took a heck of a lick as he let that ball go, and you can see he's a little ginger about getting up right at the last minute. That's Stu Laird. It's not the hit by the helmet, but it's the hit when Stu puts him on the turf and then kind of rubs that helmet in his chest a bit. That took a little toll on Kent Austin. But Kent showing something uncharacteristic, doing something that he's not expected to do, taking the ball downtown and deep.
Marvin Coleman in the game as an extra DB on 2nd and 10. Here comes the rush, and Austin goes down. Struck goes Isakovic. Got an arm on Austin. And Calgary has a sack, and Austin is down. And you wonder if the Stu Laird hit did most of the damage.
I would think that the hit prior to that one right there did a significantly more damage to Kent Austin than that play right there did.
Danny McManus quickly starts to loosen up with the BC bench.
This is a team, this BC team has a lot of confidence in Danny Mac to come in there behind and run the show. He brings a little bit more offensively to this game, a little different game plan, because he can stretch it defensively across the width of the field. He does throw the ball to the outside, has a stronger arm. He doesn't read quite as quickly as Kent Austin does. Kent will stay down. Obviously, they'll try to keep him down as long as he can, even if he is okay, to give Danny Mac enough time to warm up in the bullpen.
Well, Kent Austin suffered a 3rd-degree shoulder separation of the left shoulder against Baltimore. We talked about the hyperbaric chamber that Les Brown was in. Kent Austin has been in that chamber for an hour daily since the injury.
Now, Kenton Linders, the halfback, he comes on the blitz. Millington picks him up. Stu Laird again comes in not late, but he's the guy that hits Kent Austin after he slid down on the turf. But I think, again, it was the hit that Kent Austin took prior to that last play that we just saw that did some significant damage to him. Gutsy performer, very gutsy performer.
And it's really a shame in this type of game where he has been brilliant that he is knocked out of the box. 3rd down, Pasaglia's first punt of the game. Pee-wee Smith flags down, and Pee-wee, who returned one for a touchdown in last year's Western Final, has set up the Calgary offense nicely with great field position.
Couple of flags down, no yards against BC, probably Sean Millington. Pee-wee with a good return anyway.
No yards, BC number 23, 15-yard penalty, 1st down Calgary.
Tony Collier called for no yards, and Austin getting more attention at the BC bench. Remember, Danny McManus is on the limp. They had 2 beat-up quarterbacks coming in. Julio Caravetta is the number 3 man on the depth chart. 1st down, Stampeders. Here's a ball that bounces before it got to a pair of Lions. Enos Jackson and James Jefferson were the closest men to the ball. Alan Pitts, the intended receiver.
On the first bounce.
Doug Flutie doing something that he doesn't normally do a lot. That's telegraph in the pass. He's going to come back and he's going to look at Alan Pitts the whole way, and that allows the secondary, Enos Jackson particularly, to make a good break of the ball. Had the ball been thrown on the money, Enos had a chance for a pick.
2nd down play, Flutie over the middle, and he has Pitts there. Alan Pitts with a 1st down catch, just his 2nd grab of this game.
Great sense of where you are on the football field. Alan Pitts pushes the defender back. Enos Jackson breaks, makes a step to come back toward the ball where the reception was made, was right at the 30-yard line. Just enough for the first down.
4.5 minutes into the third quarter. Pitts and the Stampeders threatening at the BC 30. Here comes the rush. Flutie gets it away. It's picked off. Enos Jackson stripped of the ball, and I think Calgary got it back.
Enos Jackson, number 29, makes the pickoff. The football.
So another break goes Calgary's way. It looks like Jamie Crysdale came up with it.
Miscue in the routes over on the left-hand side away from Doug Flutie. He throws the ball into some coverage. Enos Jackson comes up with the pick. He's trying to go to the out. There's a little bit of pressure by Snipes. He hangs the ball up. Out past Alan Pitts. Enos comes up with it. Now he's only got one hand that he can cradle this ball with. The ball is stripped loose.
Brian Wiggins knocked it loose, and Flutie's down back at the 40 as the defenses start to dig in. Andrew Stewart, who had a sack last week against Damon Allen, has his second sack of the playoffs.
One of the first times that we've even had an opportunity to speak of Stewart so far through the course of this game. This guy is a load, 6'5", about 265 pounds, with a lot of speed, a lot of technique. And Calgary knew that this was going to be a guy to reckon with. So far through the course of this game, Ken Moore and Bruce Covington have done an excellent job against him. We have an injured Calgary player down on the field, Chris.
Well, Doug Davies went out of the game, shaken up after the interception, and now another old lineman down. Let's join Steve.
Chris, the word on Ken Austin, who is sitting on the bench trying to stay warm, is that he is through for the day. He has re-injured that left shoulder. He took a couple of hits. The second one has put him out of the ball game. He will not go back in. Danny McManus will take his place.
So it's McManus who has to win this one in relief for BC. Last week it was Austin in relief of Danny McManus, and that is Doug Davies being helped off as McManus
number 56
continues to warm up at the BC bench. Davies was really shaken up on the interception. I thought he'd gone off, but stayed in for one more play, and now he's being helped to the sidelines. And Bobby Pandelitis goes in on the offensive line. For the Stampeders.
Down 17 at the 40.
2nd and 17 after the Flutie sack. Flutie draws BC offside, and another flag will be called as Dave Chaters, the Calgary boy, took a shot at Flutie.
Something again that has hurt BC all season long, I made mention of it. They are the most penalized team in the CFL. It is paramount that you maintain your discipline. No matter how hard it is, no matter how much your emotions are going, no matter how mad you get, you've got to be a smart football player in a championship game.
Offside, BC number 91. Unnecessary roughness, BC number 74. First down, Calgary.
That's huge, Cap. It was 2nd and 17. Now it's going to be a first down.
No need. He's bound to have heard the whistles, but I have to admit, there's sometimes you get so cranked up out there, you're so focused on what you're doing, you're oblivious to anything around you, noise, whistles, and so forth. But that's no excuse.
Down to the 20. First down, Calgary. Flutie over the middle. Brian Wiggins, and he's down to the 5-yard line. Well, Wiggins has been quiet of late, but he's been a key man for Flutie this afternoon.
You can pick them. Pitts, Danielson, Moore, Pee Wee Smith. Now again, Brian Wiggins for his second big catch of the game. Comes through, lets the whole defense clear out, then he just comes underneath the coverage, catches the ball in traffic very, very well.
And it's 1st and goal for Calgary at the 5. 8:48 to go, third quarter. Stamp trying to extend the lead with Tony Stewart. Touchdown! Into the end zone for the third time this afternoon.
Anytime that you come out of the offensive line, you lose a guy the caliber of Doug Davies. It just shows you the experience and the depth that this Calgary offense have. They take Jamie Crysdale, the right guard, move him down to the center, bring in Bobby Pandolinas, they put him at the right guard, and what do? They just run right behind those three guys and show great confidence in what they can do and how they can execute their job.
Everything going Calgary's way in this third quarter. First series field goal. They knock Austin out. Add the touchdown. A point over after for Mark McLaughlin. And the Stampeders increase their lead here midway through the third quarter.
After every Stampeder touchdown,
Go.
The official attendance today is 18,260. Stampeders confused for 20 the official airline of 1994 Calgary Stampeders.
Take it easy and take the Greyhound.
Passenger fares are scheduled from 265 on 111.
Eskimos haven't been in the Western Final, but not forgotten here at McMahon.
Certainly not. This is a rivalry that just takes place, and they start at the beginning of the year wondering about when the Eskimo and Labor Day game's going to start. Solid offensive performance right now by the Calgary Stampede. A good surge by that very explosive offensive line.
Here's McLennan trying to get outside, and Spencer McLennan over the 35 up to the 40-yard line. Greg Knox had to bring him down after a 29-yard return. Let's join Scott.
All right, Chris, comment now from our game day analysts on momentum. David Archer, BC had it with Kent Austin at quarterback. Now he's out. McManus in. Do you take for granted the offensive momentum is gone?
Momentum is clearly Calgary's right now, and it's Danny's job to stem the tide.
Ron, how different are the BC Lions with Danny McManus at quarterback?
Well, the big thing is Kent Austin had such a thing going. He was really on his game. Now when Danny comes in, Danny's got to try to pick it up, and he has a tendency to force the ball. And if you force it, you get it picked.
And the ball is now in the hands of Danny McManus. Chris?
Well, Scott, I guess the one edge McManus has in a tough spot, clearly a difficult position, is he's got teammates that like to rally around him. He'll hand it off on first down, but he's going up against a charged Calgary defense. Stu Laird, what a third quarter he's had. A sack on Austin that knocked him out, and now that big tackle.
I tell you what, this defense is starting to smell the blood out there. This is a great Calgary team. They incorporate the best of two worlds. The old-fashioned world of defense that just beats you up is very, very physical, and then an offense that is so innovative with Doug Flutie, John Huffnagel is the offensive coordinator, and the six-pack.
2nd and 10. McManus with his first pass attempt won't get it off. It's Sreko Zizakovic. Well, Sreko Marco charged up, second playoff sack last year against BC. He had an interception for a touchdown against the Lions. That was a very quick 2-and-out against Danny McManus.
Danny McManus dug himself into a hole early with not any production on 1st and 10. You get 2nd and long, you have to throw the ball downfield, and this Calgary defense tees off on you.
Pee-wee Smith fielding the Passaglia punt. Nice coverage by the Lions. 7:04 to go, 3rd quarter. And the Stampeders taking charge in the second half. A 30-yard punt by Passaglia, a 4-yard return.
Chris, as you mentioned, that is good coverage by this Calgary team. By the BC team. They did an excellent job shutting down Henry Gizmo Williams in Commonwealth Stadium last week. Crucial, again, we keep saying that word, and I hate to be sounding so redundant, but it is crucial right now. This defense needs to come up very big as far as getting the ball turned over, 2 and out, and make Doug Flutie have to punt this ball away, get it back into Danny McManus' hands as many times as you can.
Flutie outlets to Stewart, dropped the football coming out of the backfield.
Just that one split second of lack of concentration. Tony Stewart's going to make a move and run before he catches the ball. Hits him right in the chest. Good look. That's John Huffnagel, the offensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders. Not with a very relieved look on his face yet.
2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Flutie gets it away. Hits. Almost a spectacular catch, incomplete. Got away with one last week against Saskatchewan that hit the turf, but that one ruled incomplete.
Pitts comes down, it's the hook pattern, the safety blitz is in, there's a lot of physical contact. Pitts gets the elbow up into Enos Jackson's face this time. Makes a left-handed stab out of it, but as you can see, the ball rolls on the turf as he tries to cradle it in.
And a few flurries starting to fly here at McMahon. Tony Martino pulled 2 down against BC this year, but kicks this one away. And it's Darren Flutie. Hit by Marvin Coleman. And just 4 yards on that return. Great coverage. Ray Biggs led the charge.
3-yard return.
Well, the Baltimore CFLs await the winner, and our congratulations to Don Matthews, Jim Spiros, and the entire Baltimore franchise. It's been a storybook expansion year for them. They're going to Vancouver. Who will they play? Right now, the Stampeders have the upper hand as Wally Buono tries to take his team back to the big game. First down at the 25, and McManus throwing complete. That's Matt Clark over the 40. And Danny McManus has his first completion of this Western Final. 15 yards for Matt Clark.
Watch Matt as he works around behind the zone, reads it, settles down. Now the ball is thrown before he's even made the break. Danny McManus, one thing he does have is a very strong arm. He can get the ball out wide.
Short drop by McManus, and he can throw that out to the wide side. Matt Clark again with the completion, and Douglas Kraft covering. And he's getting an earful at the Lion bench.
That's certainly a place you don't want to be. Not even standing up, you may not want to be there, but definitely not laying down on your back. You get a good look at the little snowfall that's coming here. Shouldn't have any effect on the field whatsoever at this stage and point of the game.
It's now an official Western Final. The snow is flying.
It's 2nd and 2, Lions.
Lions working into a breeze in this third quarter. Philpott on 2nd and short. I don't think he got there. Alondra Johnson again. He's had words with Philpott all week. Marvin Pope helping out.
It really does amaze me. It's 2nd and about 2. They go with that toss play. They're very confident in what they can do with this play. Big Daddy Marvin Pope comes in and he drums from tackle to tackle as well as anybody in this league. Makes the tackle, not before Corey Philpott and the BC Lions pick up a first 10 and 10.
Couple of first downs for McManus to get him into the game and building some confidence. Has some time over the middle. Yo Murphy went high, and he's nailed by Kent Leonard. They say pound for pound, the toughest player in the CFL. He's 166 pounds, but he can certainly lay out the receivers.
Danny Mack wants to sprint, throw back. He wants to try to get Greg Knox, the safety, out of the middle, favor to the sprint side, and then come back to the slant or the post pattern behind it. But Kent Leonard's having nothing to do with it. And there's a flock of Calgary defenders around Joe Murphy.
2nd and 10. McManus has a completion. Matt Clark with another catch into Calgary territory, and he is close to a first down.
Close enough that they'll call for a measurement, Chris. Now watch how he looks. He's going to push off against Junior Thurman, comes back, and he just has to go down low. He can't keep his feet up underneath him, so he was then able to make a move after he caught the ball. And as he leans forward, it all depends on the spot by the official.
Matt Clark has become a key man for Danny McManus. Back in '91, he was the 3rd highest receiver in the entire league, behind only Alan Pitts and Ray Alexander, also in this game.
That year, he had some great stats. He had 79 catches for 1,530 yards, 10 touchdowns.
3rd and inches, and you saw Dave Ritchie, not much question in this part of the field. They'll go for it.
Like he said in a halftime interview, we came here to win. That's exactly what we're going to do, and we're going to do everything that it takes. We're going to leave nothing in that locker room.
McManus keeps, and he'll move the sticks.
On the keeper straight ahead.
I tell you what, it looks calm on the outside when you see Coach Ritchie just standing there, but those gears are turning. It's kind of like the duck on the water, you know. As he looks really calm and cool on top of. Underneath, those legs are just paddling like crazy. So you know that's where his mind is thinking. He's about 4 or 5 plays ahead of anybody else on that sideline.
But we should emphasize no shortage of confidence in Danny McManus as his quarterback.
Absolutely not.
First down, BC. McManus trying to get outside. Throws downfield and has an open receiver. Yo Murphy with the catch. Took a lick. There is a flag down. And Yo Murphy's down too.
Yo Murphy took a lick from Matt Finley, and that's a tough catch to make coming across the field. And the ball hangs up a bit, and you know somebody's going to stroke you at the other end.
With the passer, Calgary number 96, half the distance to the goal line, first down BC.
Austin's out, and they're not going to lay off Danny McManus. Sezakovic took an extra shot.
Well, think of it. Danny McManus goes down. That's Caravana comes in if he's injured, but right at the last minute, Danny hangs it up. Shekel, it's fairly innocent, but what he did, he dipped the head down and put it down into him. Had he just come up there, just pushed him a little bit, it wouldn't have made that much difference, I don't think. But look at the contact that takes place downfield. That's Knox, that's Finley, and they lay a lick on Yo Murphy.
Murphy, help to the sidelines, will return to McMahon Stadium. Where'd this drive start?
No, that's okay, boss.
73 plays, 73 yards. 72.
Let's take the ball.
Calgary Stampeders has outscored the BC Lions 10-0 in this third quarter, lead by 13, but time for Will Johnson and company to dig in because the Lions threatening Danny McManus has them driving. First down at the 12, the pitch to Philpott. Corey Philpott near the 5. Gain of 7 for the dangerous Philpott.
Chris, this is a guy, he's listed in the program, 5'9", about 186 pounds. And he just runs bigger than 185 pounds. Very strong, lots of speed, a hard guy to really get a good shot on. Something about him, his shoulder pads, his midsection are always moving that you can't really get a real good hit heads up with him.
2nd and 3 from the 5. McManus into the end zone. Touchdown, Darren Flutie.
Danny McManus throws a 5-yard touchdown pass.
Don't count the Lions out yet. Danny McManus to Flutie, and they're right back in the thick of it.
Chris, we saw last week playing against Edmonton, their comeback, they were going to the hospital and dragging guys out to put back on the field. This is a team that is made up of a lot of character and a lot of heart. But you see, as Kenton Leonard, there's just a little stutter step, and he allows Darren Flutie to get to the outside. Then he pushes him. As he pushes him, that creates more separation, and all Danny Mac has to do is lay the ball out to the corner, and Darren Flutie runs underneath it.
Bisaglia adds the extra point. And the Stampeders now have their lead cut into thanks to Darren Flutie's 2nd touchdown of the game. You talked about beating him up physically at the line, and you could see there that he was able to just walk into the end zone. Dan McManus picking up where Austin left off. You know, I thought it was interesting yesterday, Kep. Dave Ritchie said he made the decision on who would start with Austin because he was healthier. Not that he rewarded Austin for a great relief job last week or questioned McManus's ability. He said he made the decision to go with the healthier quarterback, which I thought was a compliment to McManus, that he felt that McManus could have started just as easily.
That was the great thing about him. He has equal confidence in either one of these guys, that there's not the lesser of two evils there. There are two guys that can start for you at any time and for any reason during the course of this game. If you had to put another guy in out of the bullpen, you're not going to lose anything.
Marvin Coleman, been a good return man today. Flying down there for BC, Brian Ford. And 1:51 to go. Third quarter, 34-28. The Stampeders and Doug Flutie by 6.
Doug Flutie's thoughts, obviously, at this time is just continue doing what he's doing. He's had success moving this ball. He hasn't been going to Alan Pitts, but he's been going to all of his other weapons out there. And as soon as somebody starts to take for 1 second their eye off Alan Pitts, look for the big man, number 18, to come up with a big play. Obviously, on the other side of the ball, they've got to come out just the way they started the game, 2 and out.
Flutie trying to get outside, throws quickly, and has Brian Wiggins again. Out of bounds near the first down stick.
A 9-yard gain.
And now that the snow is starting to collect on the turf, some shoe changes. Well, they were expecting this snow early this morning, and we thought McMahon might have been blanketed, but the snow arriving about 12 hours late as the flag goes down and a procedure call against Calgary.
Flag comes down.
Crucial penalty right now for Calgary. It was 2nd and about a half a yard.
Legal procedure, Calgary number 62, 5-yard penalty.
Now it makes it 2nd and 5 1/2.
Vandalitas called, and he is in, replacing the injured Doug Davies. They've moved Crysdale to the center spot. Vandalitas at right guard, and Davies out. 2nd and 6 now. And Flutie has a completion. Vince Danielson.
With the catch.
The UBC product continuing to excel in relief of Dave Sapunjas.
Coverage on the play by number 23, Tony Collier for BC.
It still really is complimentary to that young receiver to see in crucial situations Doug Flutie chooses to go to him.
At midfield, first down, Stampeders. Over the middle, and he goes back to Danielson. Why not go back to him? Wilburn helping him out of bounds, but it's another big pickup for the Stamps.
Flutie starts playing a little cat and mouse game with you defensively. He lines him up, Danielson, I should say, in the third receiver, and he's been running the out. This time, he comes in and he does the drag in across the middle, creates enough distance between he and Enos Jackson. Doug Flutie has plenty of time to throw the ball to him.
15 seconds to go, third quarter. Stamps on the move. Flutie gets outside, goes back to Wiggins, and Wiggins to the 23. But as you mentioned, Ket, here's another example. You can take Pitts out of the game, but Wally Buono has people like Danielson and Wiggins who can sustain a drive with Doug Flutie.
Well, every one of these guys know right now, when you have a guy the caliber of Doug Flutie in the backfield, just keep working and you're going to get open. That time he wanted to go to the out pattern to Alan Pitts. He was covered. Wiggins kept working into the middle, and then he was able to come up with the big reception.
D-U-M. Round. Let's open up and find out. Lucky Rose,
Okay, yeah, flags are still.
And with the Lady Monster Rockets, please report to the Stampeder administration, the Lady Monster Rockets. Come on, let's make some noise, Calgary!
Yeah, they put time on the clock, eh?
Look at him down here in the middle.
I didn't think there was time was out. What's going on?
Well, I'm just. That's Wilburn in the middle. He was hugging Wiggins.
Oh,
and he was hugging Pee Wee.
Yeah, I was surprised when the corner ran up because there should have been time. But yeah. Now are we gonna have to go again? Or are you want to go down to the panel?
After the game, where you'll be able to buy Ralph the dog a drink. He just turned 7 with the legal drinking age of dog years.
Welcome back to McMahon Stadium, where they tack 3 seconds back on to this third quarter. So one more play for the Stampeders before the end of three-quarter time, and they give it to Tony Stewart. And Stewart,
number 21.
on second and short, will move the sticks with a pickup of a couple of yards. That is now officially the final play of the third quarter as we join Scotto.
All right, Chris, it's Calgary by 6 as we start the fourth quarter. The snow is falling, the temperature is starting to drop, and you wonder, David Archer, if Doug Flutie is starting to have flashbacks to a year ago. Do you expect him to really seize control of this game in the fourth quarter, even though he's been good to this point?
Well, I think he's going to seize control, not because it's snowing, but because there's a ring on the line. He has a chance to go to BC Place and play for it all, and I think that's the main thing that's in his mind right now.
Ron, this West Division final is a shootout. What do you expect in this game?
You expect Doug Flutie to play like he has. The biggest difference in this game is BC would not allow him to have his way today, and they've done a heck of a job, and he has done a great job of getting the ball to other receivers other than Alan Pitts. Danielson has had a great game, tough catches, he's catching the football, he's running well with it. Calgary is showing that they have a lot of weapons on this offense.
Games like this have a habit of developing new stars, and Vince Danielson could be it.
Very much so. I mean, he's a good football player.
34-28, 15 minutes left in regulation time in the CFL's West Division Final.
Dan Scott, critical start in this fourth quarter. Having clock problems, they've got 2 seconds left up on the clock, and the officials are going to get that time set before they allow Flutie to continue here. First down at the BC 21, and Calgary starting the fourth quarter up by 6.
In this red zone, or as the Calgary likes to call it, the green zone, because green to them means money, Doug Flutie opens up his whole repertoire of plays.
Money time now, fourth quarter of the Western Final. And Flutie looking deep, looking for Pitts, and overthrowing the intended receiver with Charles Gordon in coverage, and a flag down, holding against the Stampeders. You like first and 20, push him back 10, or take second and 10?
I think you got to keep pushing him back as far as you can.
Holding, Calgary, number 62, 10-yard penalty, first down repeated.
Well, as the numbers indicate, it's been an offensive show and pretty even. Just 6 points separating these two teams. And Kep, as you mentioned earlier, it's 25 minutes and 13 seconds that Doug Flutie hasn't had a chance to work with.
Again, the best defense that you can have, and you can ask any ball players, stats are for losers. All that matters in the end is the scoreboard.
First and 20. Flutie thought about running, under siege, and throws an interception. Picked up by Dave Chaters. Dave Chaters with his first career interception. Flutie was in trouble and tried to throw it away. And the kid from Calgary came up with the pick.
Down by the Stampeders, number 67, Gabe Drysdale.
Lots of pressure on Doug Flutie. This is something that we haven't seen much of through the course of the game. Scrambling, trying to get rid of the ball, and then all of a sudden he thinks he sees Tony Stewart, but Chaters comes underneath it. You know, I don't like those defensive linemen every now and then when they think they're linebackers. He makes a break on it, good hands, catches it, he only gets one thrown at him, and then he's going to keep that ball.
Tell you what, he paid for 16 tickets for the Chaters family to be on hand today. He wanted to give them something to remember. That's a huge play, early fourth quarter BC.
Big turnover, what a super play by that defensive squad.
Here's Sean Millington bursting into the secondary, pounding it into Calgary territory, down to the 48-yard line. Danny McManus hasn't missed a beat, and Sean Millington has 22 yards.
Somebody forgot to tell the BC Lions that you're not supposed to be able to do this against this Calgary defense. Line up and say, man for man, I'm just going to outmuscle you, be better than you, get you out of the way, and just run the ball right down your throat. Sean Millington does an excellent job of getting the ball upfield.
10 carries, 70 yards for Millington. Here come the Lions. Millington again. Down at the 43, Alondra Johnson. Stu Laird hanging on.
Alondra Johnson, 51.
It's important. You can see right now the confidence that Danny Mack is starting to play with. Plus, he's getting, again, first down production. He'd much rather have 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, as opposed to 2nd and 10 against this Calgary defense.
He has 2nd and 5 now. Millington got 5 more. Marvin Pope comes out of the game. They put another DB in, but they give it to Millington. And Sean Millington stopped up and pushed back by Stu Laird. Great second half for the 11-year veteran, celebrating his first ever All-Star year. And the crowd chanting Stu.
As they take Big Daddy Marvin Pope out of the middle, Sean Millington lines up in the back. All those those defensive linemen do is say, we're keying one guy. If he runs his ball, we got to close the gap, make the tackle exactly the way that they just did. He's standing back there in that draw position for one reason. Either it's going to be play action or they're going to give him the ball.
Louis Pasaglia attempting a 47-yarder. Darren Flutie puts it down. Does it have the legs? It's just good. Over the bar by no more than a yard. But Louis puts it through. It's a 3-point game.
From this top. Yep. God, that looks
Boy,
short.
did that ever.
Just where he caught
and Coleman thought it was it.
He caught the ball in front of the... Okay, I got it.
No, it's over.
Oh, it was
good.
Okay. It was over.
Wow.
Okay.
You should show it, though.
Okay, is writing still... Yeah, writing still works. Let's do it. We'll start it right there, and then I'll circle it and then just have them follow it into and right past. Is that it right there, buddy? We're okay? Wait, bring it down. Bring it down, just let's see. Bring it down just a bit, if you can, buddy. How about right?
No, keep going, keep going. That's where you
right there? How about right there?
No, you want to show it going over the bar, then circle.
Huh?
You want it over the bar, then circle. Welcome back, Louis Pasaglia, getting set to kick off after that 47-yarder that just made it.
By inches, look at it as he goes right across the bar. Very slowly, boom, just barely makes it. That's the perfection that Louis is. He knew he had just enough. You may save your leg for a bigger kick later in this game.
He may need to kick a 48-yarder later. Here's Coleman slipping and down.
Number 17.
And you hope Coleman's all right. 6 yards on the return. Fields.
You really don't like. Yeah, you really don't like to see that kind of action as he's trying to make the cut, and all of a sudden his feet and his legs slip out from under him, and he just bends back over under his own weight. Watch him try to make a move. His eight slips out, and then he falls right back on his heels. No one hit him. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
34-31, and again, Doug Flutie and the Stampeders offense called upon to put points on the board. Over the middle, another completion. Vince Danielson's having a career game. 16 yards for Danielson, the first pick of the Calgary Stampeders in the draft.
Can you imagine his thoughts in his first day at training camp, coming and playing with a team that throws the ball as much as the Calgary Stampeders do, that obviously at some point during the course of the Western Final, you were going to be one of the main players and one of the key figures.
Play doesn't get off again. We're going to have a procedure call against Calgary.
Legal procedure, Calgary number 62, 5-yard penalty, still first.
And again, it's Bobby Pandelitis who is in to replace the injured Doug Davies.
That's his second call so far. Played a bit earlier in the course of the season when Kenny Moore went down. You get into that rhythm, then all of a sudden you don't get into the starting lineup for a couple of weeks. You just lose that small little piece of edge.
First and 15. Flutie over the middle. There's Alan Pitts. Crushed at midfield. And Tom Europe is slow to get up.
And he's slow to get up because Jefferson, his own teammate, absolutely leveled him.
Also in number 20, James Jefferson.
Second-year man out of Bishops. got two great young safeties in Knox and Europe in this game. And Tom Europe getting attention.
Now watch this. This ball hangs up in the air a long time. BC should be reacting to it a little quicker. Just gets it over the outstretched hands of the linebacker. Now you see there, the right shoulder comes in and catches Europe, the right shoulder of Jefferson, and catches Europe right in the chest and under the jaw.
And while Tom Europe gets attention with 10:46 to go, fourth quarter, we'll take a timeout at McMahon. The stats, 401, 404 total offense. Yes.
Maybe. Okay.
That's not even, that's not given. I would give it 18,000.
Rumble Free Photocopy with a Rico photocopy. You get products from the level servers that score on every play. Rico is an official supplier to the Canadian Football League.
There's 6 with him in there also. Okay.
The winner of the 50-50 draw today is Derek Hamilton of Calgary. He won $5,502. Thanks to everyone for supporting the Calgary Colts and Benton football in this city.
Tom Europe helped off under his own power after that hit from teammate James Jefferson. There doesn't seem to be any end to the depth, though, in the BC secondary. They bring in a veteran safety, Sean Foodie, in his 6th year out of York University, and he'll take over. They still have the 6 DBs in against Flutie. First down, Calgary at the Lion 54.
Doug Flutie audible at the line of scrimmage, sees something that he likes.
Rolls right, pressure on. Flutie now, backside, it's Pitts. And Alan Pitts fights off one tackler, Enos Jackson, and now Jackson goes to a knee. And Pitts has his 4th catch of the game.
This is normally exactly the kind of play you want. Some heat on Doug Flutie, forcing him to throw the ball short to Alan Pitts. Now here's where the big thing happens. Enos Jackson comes up and he tries to make the tackle on Alan Pitts with only one hand. He's got the cast on the other hand. He just can't grab any cloth. And Alan Pitts comes up, puts the stiff arm right up in the face of Enos Jackson.
And Kemp, that's Angelo Snipes who is down. He had a shot at Flutie, but the elusive quarterback got away. Snipes in some difficulty, looks like the right thigh or hamstring.
Well, this kind of turf right now with just a light snowfall on it, it's starting to get a little slippery out there. All of a sudden you don't have your feet up underneath you and you make a plant and you try to cut, and all of a sudden your hamstring pulls up or snaps and it takes an effect on you. Bill Rochelle, the trainer of the of BC Lions, looking, he used to be with the Edmonton Eskimos. That's where I got confused. He was the trainer when I first got there. Taking a look at Enos Jackson, and they're also looking at Angelo Snipes at the same time. There's Bill.
So a couple of Lions going off. Brian Ford will come in at linebacker. Oh, what an offensive display we've had this afternoon. Doug Flutie on one side, And on the other side, Kent Austin and Danny McManus have teamed up, and over 400 yards of offense on either side.
Chris, you just talk about some of the depth that these teams have, and it's very impressive that you see you can lose a guy for a while as Tom Europe, you bring in Sean Foodie. But then all of a sudden you lose your outside linebacker, Angelo Snipes, you bring in Brian Ford. This is a guy that can play also, has some experience and very talented.
4 years in the NFL with the New Orleans Saints. The Montreal native, Brian Ford, is in. But it's Calgary on the move at the 43-yard line. Dave Chaters and the Lions.
Take a look at those eyes. That's intensity.
It is first and 10 Stampeders.
Head-to-head with Rocco Romano. First down give to Stewart, and Stewart to the 40, as close to 4. Henry Newby with the tackle.
Number 73, Andrew Stewart.
Under 10 minutes left.
Henry Newby combined for the tackle.
Calgary has been on a mission all year, but it's not accomplished yet. These Lions have been tough.
Third down situation, second down situation again. Do you go to Danielson?
Flutie has time, looking deep, looking for Danielson. Well, he's got the hot hand, and Flutie had him open and just missed.
He's run the whole tree as far as the pass routes are concerned. He's run the slants, he's run the quick outs, he's run the curls. This time he does something that he hasn't done through the course of the game. He takes it deep, makes a great effort to get extended, gets the right hand out, the ball just barely overthrown.
Louis Bisaglia just hit from 47, and now Mark McLaughlin will try from 47. Doesn't look like much of a breeze. McLaughlin line drive, and he missed it. And McLennan will concede the single point. That'll help Calgary. McLaughlin would like the 3, but 1 is valuable because it makes it a 4-point Stampeder lead.
Chris, what do you think? I think maybe he should have brought that ball out. At least give yourself, if you're in a crucial situation, as tough as these defenses are playing, give yourself where you've got an opportunity to kick a field goal to possibly tie it if you're lucky enough. Now, you have to have 2 possessions as far as kicking a field goal, getting a single somehow. I think it was just a bad choice.
Okay, boys, let's go.
There's your line. 11-10 here in the second half, 35-31. They do get the scrimmage from the 40, but I think you're right, Kep. Here's Philpott trying to spin away, and great pursuit by the defense, and Sreko Zizakovic has really been a factor second half. Now Doug Flutie changing his shoes on the sidelines, as the footing has changed here in the second half with the snow.
And I think it should change in the philosophy of the BC Lions as far as the rushing attack is concerned. This kind of turf right now, the footing is not conducive to a speedy, flashy kind of slashing back like Philpott. You need a mutter. You need somebody like Sean Millington.
Second down, and McManus airing it out and has an open receiver to catch. Matt Clark down the sidelines. And Clark and McManus have been in sync in the second half. It's a 31-yard pickup against Junior Thurman.
BC felt that there is an opportunity that they could take a little advantage of the Calgary corners. They felt they cheated a bit as far as peeking into the backfield, looking at the quarterbacks a bit, that you could, if you could get the ball deep, you may be able to have some success.
31-yard gain for Lions. First and 10 at the Calgary 39.
Exactly 8 minutes to go. Fourth quarter, Millington the handoff, and Zizakovic and Johnson. Hold him to no gain. Terrific front 4.
You got to make those big horses up front as far as the Calgary defense. You got to make them move just a little bit. If they get their feet underneath them with all that weight that they have, they can go straight ahead and block the holes up. But if you get them moving, then you're going to set yourself up to be able to make a little bit of a cut and make them miss you and hope you pick up some more.
They gave BC a gain of 2, second and 8. Fake to Millington. McManus with time. Yo Murphy went high, couldn't bring it down. Gerald Bond in coverage for Calgary. It's third down.
Chris, think about it now. Now the point that was given up, if in fact Louis Pasaglia can make this field goal, then they tie the ball game. That's got to be a real confidence builder as opposed to being 1 point behind.
I agree with you, Kemp, but there's a lot of time on the clock. 7-11 as Louis Pasaglia attempts another field goal. This one from 44. Footing not as good, and Louis puts it up, and he misses wide to the left side. Coleman's going to run it out. Flag down. Coleman still going, and now dropped, but this one coming back.
Chris, and it'll come back a long ways because that's an illegal block that took place about the 2-yard line. I would suspect that Doug Flutie will be able to line this up and scrimmage probably 1st and 10 on about the 1-yard line.
So now should Coleman have given the single point back? Looked like a good decision at the time, but some illegal blocks caused the problem.
The decision itself was good, and I think, as you said, that is the responsibility.
Legal block, Calgary, number 3, half the distance to the goal line, first down Calgary.
Doug Kraft.
Just to finish the thought, that is the responsibility of the return team to make your block, or if you can't make the block, don't take a penalty, not a stupid penalty, that deep in your own end.
6:45 left. Stamps leading, but in as deep a hole as you can get. Hand off Stewart, and Dave Chambers met him near the line of scrimmage.
You get up and shaking his head, no way. You ain't coming this way, baby. The first time that we've seen Sean Daniels in the backfield, 2 backs, trying to lead the way, but this is a very tough BC front 4. They pursue to the ball, they get into the gaps, and they make you pay once you come into their area.
Kemp Angelo snipes his back, still feeling that right hamstring, but he's back in on 2nd down, and the Lions jump. And you got to think Doug Flutie was trying to get them to come across offside.
And he will. He'll come out with that stuttered count, you know, hut, 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 hut. And he's trying to draw him, but you have to be disciplined as far as watch the ball.
Offside, BC, number 91, 5-yard friendly, still 2nd down.
Everybody's trying to time the snap, but the ball has to go first. So if all of a sudden Jamie Crysdale hasn't moved it, you don't move. It moves, you move.
Just got a message from that box with Scott Oka. David Archer and Ron Lancaster say you need work on your cadence.
I don't think they'll ever have to worry about me taking either one of their jobs.
2nd and 4 after the penalty. Big play for the Lions D. Flutie calls his own number and has a huge hole. Foot race time. Doug Flutie. Hook slide, and boy, he slid 5 yards. And they'll down him at the 45, an enormous play and jubilation at the Stamp bench.
We talked about it at the beginning of this game in the opening. The one guy that is unaccounted for is Doug Flutie. And if you do have a spy on him, it's a tough day. This time, nobody's there. Doug Flutie's in a draw situation. The guy you can see, that's number 47, Tyrone Chapman, comes on a blitz. Doug Flutie, all of a sudden the Red Sea parts, and now you can see some speed as far as he just puts his head down.
58 yards for Flutie. Could be the play of the game with 4:50 to go. Stewart. Snipes got a hand on him, and down he goes after a pickup of 2. Doug Flutie, 4 carries, 79 yards. But that 58-yarder to get them out of trouble is enormous now.
This is a guy we talked about. He's like the Michael Jordans or the Wayne Gretzky's in the sports world. When it's a big play, when the time is running down, he wants the ball in his hand. He wants to be able to make something happen, as he just did.
And he said, bring on the snow, bring on the cold, and bring on the Lions. He wants to put to rest all the talk about playing in the cold. Second and long. Flutie will keep again. Snipes couldn't bring him down. Now he's down, and he's short of the first down by a couple. Henry Newby with the tackle. And now Wally Buono has a decision. It's 3rd and a yard and a half. And they are in Mark McLaughlin range. 3:40 clock running.
It's a gain of 6
and a 4-point lead.
3rd down and 2.
And McLaughlin's coming in.
This will be the kind of field goal that's not going to hurt you one way or the other. If they make it, BC still needs a major to be able to tie this game up.
.84% efficient during the regular season.
Stay disciplined on the defense. Don't jump off sides. Calgary may try to do a shift to try to pull you.
From 44 yards out, McLaughlin misses again, and this time McLennan will give up the single, and it's a 5-point lead. With 3:21 to go, Stamps not out of the woods yet. No OT now.
Anyone caught on the playing field will be heavily fined.
I think the footing's tough.
And prosecuted. The Stampeders and the McMahon Stadium Society ask fans to act responsibly for the enjoyment of everybody here today. Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah. That was just perfect, yeah.
Did you hear me now, Chris? Said my Vivers getting up to bed now.
These Vivers, these two guys do. They got their Viver going.
They got Vivers. Vivers are big. Because you know what? These are defensive guys. You wouldn't know that. He's got Viver. Yeah? You got no Viver. Get into this somewhere.
Yeah. Classic duel between two great friends, Wally Buono and Dave Ritchie, for the right to play Baltimore in the '94 Grey Cup game. And this one far from done. 3:15 to go. And at the 36-yard line of BC, the Lions take over, trailing by 5. Danny McManus has been great. That one falls incomplete to Matt Clark, who's been a favorite receiver of McManus, who's done a great job in relief of the injured Ken Austin. 3-minute warning being given to the benches. We'll return to McMahon Stadium after this. Why would they go right back when there's still 3:05 to go?
Why would we go right back?
I didn't think they took the 3-minute till 3 minutes or less.
No, that's exactly right. I don't know why then.
Yeah.
I mean, they would much rather have, you'd much rather have it at 2:55. Hey, and then go them to the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then go right back to them. One move on one side.
perhaps a good call here as we look at Frank Spaziani. They're now cleaning off the sidelines so the officials can make the right calls here because the snow is starting to accumulate. So the sweepers are out here for the second straight year in the Western Final.
Well, as you said earlier, it is official. This is the Western Final now when you get to this point. But I think you made a very good point. It is crucial that you can see the goal lines and the out-of-bounds sign. And it's even more crucial to take a good look at that face right there. Ken Austin, as he had some conversation with Danny McManus, during this timeout, they had a chance to talk on the sidelines. And that's really, really good because Danny's going out there executing the play. Ken's having an opportunity to sit on the sideline and take a look at the whole defense and tell Danny what's happening across the board as far as defensively.
Kenny Walker and the Stampeders D trying to stop the Lions right here on 2nd and 10. Here comes the rush. McManus gets it away to Philpott. That's a big completion and a first down. Corey Philpott dropped the football. Calgary has it. Junior Thurman. Philpott made the big play, but then put it in the snow.
They had it all. BC had it all as far as happening. Danny McManus got away from the heat. Corey Philpott just sneaked out of the backfield. They were able to dump it off to him. One of the knocks against Corey Philpott that Wally had said, if we hit him enough, he'll put it on the ground.
McManus made the play, but BC turns it over. Junior Thurman was not in last year's Western Final. And Corey Philpott turns it over for the Lions. Still time, 2:48 to go, but that's another huge play. Turnovers even. And the ball maybe a little more greasy now with the snow starting to pile up here. Sean Daniels, his first carry, and it's a dandy. Snipes hanging on.
Let's take a look back at one of the key turning points of this whole game. Danny Mack wants to go down. He's getting a lot of heat. That's Will Johnson, but then he dumps it off. Philpott has no idea, just threw his right, and that's Alondra Johnson that comes again and strips the ball loose. Junior Thurman makes sure the possession and the big turnover for the Calgary defense.
It's twice for Alondra Johnson today, who's been one of the leading men on defense for Calgary. First down, they'll go back to Daniels. Sean Daniels, another first down. And the big fullback, 5'11", 240, Montreal native, called upon in the fourth quarter, is moving the sticks for Wally Bonham.
Good look there at Coach Bono on the side. He said that this guy, Daniels, he had wanted to try to get him for the last year. He just wasn't available. And once we did have him, he felt that that was the one piece and the offensive puzzle that was missing, that now they felt like they had the total package together.
194 yards on the ground for Flutie and the Stampeders today. First down, 2 minutes to go. Daniels again, and they stop him up near the line of scrimmage this time.
This is the kind of guy you want to have carry the mail. Big, strong, powerful. He's a mutter. He's a grinder. Two hands. He's sure-handed about holding on in possession of the ball. And they just be able to grind it out, try to make first downs, try to keep possession. Quick conversation on the sideline between Doug Flutie and John Huffnagel.
Yep, they lost last year in the Western Final. One of the priorities, improve the running game. 194 yards today, their best rushing game of the year when they needed it the most. Second and long, and Flutie in trouble, gets away and now slides back at the line of scrimmage. Third down, 1:34 to go, and Mark McLaughlin comes on.
Mark McLaughlin getting a second opportunity late in the fourth quarter to put this game, hopefully, out of reach for him.
Well, 3 will make it an 8-point game. BC will stay within a touchdown and a 2-point convert if McLaughlin's good. And now the Lions call a timeout. The clock's still running here. They're going to have to put time back on the clock.
Chris, that comment that I made basically was the fact that the way that I feel that the Calgary defense at this point is performing.
Please reset the clock at 1:32.
Little extra time being put back on the clock. Dave Ritchie very keen and sees that goes from 1:26 back to 1:32.
But the Lions will get the football back with just under a minute and a half to go, and either way they'll need a touchdown in this Western Final. But I think, Kep, the way McManus has picked up where Austin left off, that the Lions still have some life.
Don't count them out. Edmonton Eskimos may have done that last week, and they came back to haunt them.
39-yard attempt for McLaughlin. Footing not great, it's blocked. Brian Ford after it. Flutie batting it out of bounds. Saves some yards for the Stamps.
Joey, get back! Get away from the fight!
Now you take a look, that's Jody Allen. That's the special team coach in the middle that's getting so excited about it. Coach Ritchie going down and calming him down a bit because they don't want to get a penalty against the bench in this case. Good surge up the middle. Hands coming up. And it is awfully hard from that angle just to see who did get their hand up to knock it down.
Looked like it could have been Ray Alexander who blocked the punt. I thought that was a pretty heads-up play by Flutie. Let's see if it's 88 Alexander. Yes, it is.
Exactly. Ray Alexander again at 6'4", showing what we had talked about earlier. Some of that vertical jump that he has.
So the ball is at the 43-yard line of the Lions. 1:25 to go. 5 points is the lead. BC can win with a touchdown. McManus as Flutie and Alondra Johnson all over him again. Well, Darren Flutie has been the key weapon this afternoon for BC. A couple of touchdowns, 137 yards on 9 catches. On the other side of the ball, not many better than Alondra Johnson.
Be patient, Danny Mac has to be patient. This Calgary defense is not going to give him the home run ball. They're going to make him work for it down the field.
Yep, they're taking their time. The clock's running. Second down, out in the flat, complete. Matt Clark. Junior Thurman keeps him in bounds. 1:01 left.
What a gutsy call this time on this turf, on this kind of footing. You throw the wide side out in second and about 7 yards. Junior Thurman playing a soft cushion behind. Keep everything in front of you. Don't let any of these receivers get behind you. Matt Clark doing an excellent job of looking that ball in.
Last team to have a home game in the Grey Cup. The BC Lions in '83. They're a touchdown away. The time a factor. First down, McManus. A lot of steamboats. Looking deep. Ray Alexander going up. Can't bring it down. Alexander was open. But Gerald Vaughn recovering for the Stampeders.
McManus had plenty of time to throw the ball downfield, but at the last minute, he sees Ray Alexander going down. He just did not get an opportunity to plant his feet and get enough oomph and velocity on that ball to hang it out there a little further. Alexander was behind Vaughn by a step or two, but they had to wait on the ball, and then it became a jump ball.
From huddle till the ball dropped incomplete, they used 23 seconds, 39 to play. Second down. McManus to Clark, complete. Tied up, he'd like to get out of bounds, and Thurman all over, Kraft all over him. Matt Clark having his best game of the season. 32 seconds to go, and now the Lions will operate without a huddle. Tough to see the yards here. They are at the 38. 38 yards separating BC from a trip to the Grey Cup.
McManus, they can see the one line they need. That's the goal line.
First down, McManus, more time. Has a completion. And it's Joe Murphy hanging on. 23 seconds to play. At the 26. Looks like it's a first down, and it is. Unbelievable. Wally Buono's team now is on the ropes.
Big Daddy Marvin Polk comes out in the middle. They bring in another back, defensive back. Coleman.
First down. Again, McManus with time. Looking for Alexander. Alexander, no.
They say he's out of bounds. He makes the catch.
Aaron Flutie, number 82, is ruled out of bounds.
12 seconds left. And Alexander almost spoiled the party here at McMahon.
Second and 10, BC at the Calgary.
You can almost tell by the reaction of the receiver. Alexander's not making much of an argument about it. The catch is made, and he is significantly out of bounds.
Oh, he dropped the football on the contact with the turf. 12 seconds left. Stampeders haunted by the loss in '93. This would be devastating. Can they hang on against McManus and the Lions? A dozen seconds to play. This is second down. McManus, open receiver, Flutie! And what an amazing catch! How did he hang on?
Aaron Flutie, number 82, with the catch for the BC
They're
Lions.
inside the 5 on as good a catch as you'll ever see.
And goal to go for the Lions at the
Catches it in between two defenders. That's Coleman and also Ken Leonard. What a great touch pass.
Time out Calgary with 5 seconds to go. Well, Kep, we made you a defensive coordinator at the start. They may only have time here for one. How about a play call for BC? They were down.
Spread your receivers out across the field. Make that Calgary defense spread out with you and try to operate just a quick throw inside. See if you can get a good quick release. And my guess has got to be the guy, Darren Flutie. I'm going to guess that Calgary's defense will probably guess that. If worse comes to worse, quarterback draw with Danny McManus.
At the 4-yard line. 4 yards separating McManus and the Lions from a trip to the Grey Cup. Doesn't get better than this. McManus, end zone, touchdown Lions! BC's going to the Grey Cup!
It's good for a BC Lion touchdown.
Break 2 years in a row at McMahon Stadium. And Dave Ritchie has the biggest of upsets.
Chris, this whole place is absolutely stunned.
Well, Doug Flutie beaten again, this time by his brother. And you have to hand it to Darren Flutie. Danny McManus with a brilliant relief job for the Lions. Darren Flutie celebrating his 3rd touchdown of the game. An amazing drive for the Lions in the final minute. Well, Ken Austin, he set it up with a brilliant offensive performance. He was knocked out, but McManus kept it going for BC. There are the brothers. Embracing both were brilliant today. But Darren Flutie's out of the shadow of Big Brother.
Terrific team effort by the BC, offensively, defensively, handing the ball off from Ken Austin down to Danny McManus and Darren Flutie with a great afternoon.
It's BC and Baltimore in the '94 Grey Cup. Well, a stunning, stunning evening here at McMahon Stadium. Let's go down and join Scotto.
All right, Chris, the field for the 1994 Grey Cup's been finalized. BC is advanced against Baltimore. Now it's up to the Lions to keep the cup in Canada. BC wins by 2 in dramatic fashion. We'll return to McMahon Stadium in Calgary in just a moment.
Oh, go back. Oh, let's go back. Woo! We're starting.
Thank you. Okay.
Hold on.
Very good, sir.
McManus and Steve Armitage, then Mr. Ritchie, okay?
Got it.
Start with that, then Mr. Ritchie. We're starting.
We're coming back with the touchdown throw to Darren. We're just in commercial now, guys.
Oh. Okay, about 30 seconds to us, gents. Stay back!
Coach, I was in the Cup in '88. It wasn't with BC, but I'm back there.
15 seconds. First with you, Danny.
Okay.
8, 7, 6, 5 to you, Steve. 4, 3, 2.
There have been some great storybook endings in the CFL history, but I would have to suspect that this might be one of the best ever. It came down to the final play of the game. Backup quarterback Danny McManus going to Darren Flutie to put the BC Lions into the Grey Cup in front of their hometown fans against Baltimore. Danny McManus celebrates, and well he should. He came off the bench to replace Kent Austin, and he is with me now. Danny McManus, one of the toughest jobs in professional sport is to come in off the bench, and you did it exceptionally well.
It is. First thing I'd like to do is thank the Lord for giving us the opportunity to play this game. Without him, I know things couldn't be possible, but I put my strength in him. He gives me the chance to go out there and play even in the backup role, and things come out like this.
Take me through that final drive.
Just trying to throw the guys that are open. Those guys playing good on defense. Darren made a great catch down here, get us down to the 5. Then again, he made another one right here. Just a matter of those guys getting open and me throwing it to them.
Was he the primary receiver all the way on that last play?
It's either him or Yo Murphy. Those two guys are doing a switch route, so it's either Darren or him. Both the guys ran with Darren. Both the guys ran with Yo, so he had Darren wide open.
Okay, let's talk to Dave Ritchie, who is with me now, the head coach of the BC Lions. Congratulations, Coach. A terrific finish.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank my maker also, because I don't know where we would have been here without him. And I'll tell you what, Danny Mack came in, did a great job. There was a great Flutie on the field today, too.
The other Flutie, let's get a quick comment from Darren.
I'm just happy as hell right now. You know, we deserved it. We don't feel like we backed it or anything. We beat a great football team that played great today, and we deserve it.
You can finally win a Grey Cup for those long-starving BC fans in BC.
We're going out and try. We're going to go out and work very hard. You know, a lot of things have happened good for us in the last 3 games. So it's amazing.
Dave Ritchie with tears in his eyes. Scott Oak, take it away.
All right, Steve, a chance now to get some final comments from our game day analyst. David Archer, I recall saying to you at halftime, could this game come down to who had the better Flutie? The brothers Flutie went head-to-head, and Darren and the BC Lions are on their way to the Grey Cup.
Well, it was a classic matchup by 2 good football teams. This is the best thing that the CFL has to offer. What a great game, and Darren came up big. I'm a friend of Darren's, and I'm really happy for him.
You know, Ron, we loved every moment of this game up here in our booth, and I know that you said several times this was as fine a game as we've seen for the West Division Championship at some time.
Well, it's all you can ask. I mean, the BC Lions would not quit. They had every opportunity today to say, hey, Calgary comes back every time we score. You know, we can fold it up and go home and have to say we had a good year. They wouldn't do it. Danny Mack did about everything you could do. He hit every open guy. He stayed cool under pressure, and that last throw was great. They deserved to win it.
Dave, what a storyline for the Grey Cup. Hometown BC Lions against the American upstarts.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be billed as a Canadian team trying to keep the cup at home, and we got the Invaders coming from Baltimore, so it's going to be a good game.
Ron, can the Calgary Stampeders stand, finishing 15-3 in the regular season 2 straight years and having their hearts broken both occasions?
you have to do it, and you don't like it. 15-3 is a heck of a season, but when you're playing sudden death, it is sudden death. There is no tomorrow. Everything goes today, and the reason it hurts so much is because you put so much into it. And hey, that's the way it goes. BC deserved to be there. That's simple.
Thank you both. Good to have you with us today. Here then is what happened on final Sunday. Baltimore over Winnipeg by 2 in the East Division Championship game. Some may have trouble with it, but an American team will play for it all this year. And BC over Calgary for the West Championship to set up a Baltimore-BC Grey Cup a week today at BC Place in Vancouver. This is our menu for next weekend. We begin on Saturday at 5 Eastern with Countdown Saturday, and then on Grey Cup Sunday we're on the air again at 5 with Countdown to kickoff at BC Place. And the Classic game itself, the 82nd Grey Cup, follows 1 hour later. And so the snow has settled on final Sunday, and Baltimore and Calgary are on their way to Vancouver to compete. Excuse me, let's get that straight. Baltimore and Vancouver, the BC Lions, surprised even me when they came back with that dramatic win. It's Baltimore and Vancouver in the Grey Cup. Thanks for watching today. We'll talk to you next weekend. So long from Calgary.
CBC Sports, home of the champions.